Welcome into the special edition every year, the 2025 NFL Draft Round 1 live coverage here on Club Fantasy, where we cover the draft, but from a fantasy football perspective. Well, last year was loaded for storylines and us for things to talk about. Going to be probably this year, seeing how some of these picks reflect other options on their team, a la offensive linemen helping out quarterbacks, helping out running backs. But we might see some surprises up in the top 5, especially hearing from the Giants. They are a wild card, and what that pick will be. You have myself, Josh, Ryan, and a slew of guests here this evening. We want to hear from you and how you feel about your team. Let's get into it. Welcome into the 2025 NFL Draft Round 1 live coverage. Myself, Josh, and Ryan, all here together, joined by Mr. Joel Worth. Joel, how are you?
I'm good, man. Excited. Got a draft in Green Bay. Who would have thought that would happen? But yeah, it should be an exciting night.
250,000 people. Why?
Into a town of 70,000?
We know like 17 of them.
It's just, and we're happy for those 17. And I'm happy for them. I just don't understand why somebody would pay to be standing outside in Green Bay, Wisconsin in the end of April.
I have it on good authority that this was the first day a lot of Wisconsiners were wearing shorts, as was just posted in one of our group chats. So it's nice weather.
I mean, I'm sure it's nice weather, but it also could have been snowing.
Oh, well, that's fair. Yeah,
it probably will tomorrow.
Yeah,
like heavy possibility that could have happened. And wouldn't you know it, everybody? It's 8:03, and Roger Goodell hasn't even hit the podium.
Which is why we bumped this show a half an hour.
Which is why we did not start at 7:30, because at that point in time, Roger Goodell is riding a bicycle to the fucking podium. I hate it here. I hate it here. I understand why, Packers fans. I know you guys do that in the preseason, and it's cute and fun. But I'm hoping Goodell loses control and falls off the stage. Like, that's what I'm hoping would happen.
So I'm watching on YouTube because I don't pay for cable. And so I'm like 10 seconds behind you, Joe. I had no fucking idea what you were talking about. And then I'm like, wait, what is happening right now?
And now they have Packers legends coming out onto the stage.
Lil Wayne is out.
Lil Wayne? Is he a Packers fan? I thought he was a Saints.
He is a big Packers fan, yeah.
Okay. I thought he's a Saints guy, but sure. Yeah, why not? Lil Wayne. Welcome to Green Bay, Wisconsin, Lil Wayne.
He does have the coolest bike of the group, though.
I mean, what would you expect? Let's be honest here. You think Roger Goodell was going to roll out in the coolest bike? I don't know. I'm very interested. I think we all know who's going 1.
Yeah.
It would be very surprising if Cam Ward is not the draft pick for the Titans. And
they recently added Tyler Lockett.
This is true.
Seeing the list of veteran wide receivers that have gone and signed with the Titans made me want to cry.
I didn't realize.
Enlighten us with that list.
Over the years, just like seeing Randy Moss, Andre Johnson, DeAndre Hopkins. I know there was a couple others that I'm missing, but like seeing a whole bunch of greats like land in Tennessee, it's just like a death wish. It's just like that is where careers just go to die.
Yeah, we pretty much had Lockett in the coffin anyway. So, I mean, get a paycheck. I'm not mad at it.
Get a bag. I mean, was $6 million, right? I think was the contract, something like that. Sure.
4 year or $4 million max 6. Yeah.
Sure. Hey, I'll take $4 million to live in Nashville. Why not? I'll take $4 million to live anywhere. Let me be clear. If somebody wants to pay me $4 million in a year, I'll live wherever you want me to. All right. I'll collect that bag for 1 year and then move wherever the hell I want and retire. Because at that point, what am I going to do with $4 million? Chilling and vibing. This is going to be very interesting. What do we think? Over under 5 minutes before this draft clock actually starts.
Ooh.
Over.
Before it starts?
Before it starts. So that Titans clock has that 10-minute clock starts. Over under 5 minutes.
I'll take the under.
Okay.
I live dangerously.
Do you live dangerously?
No.
All right. Well, at 8:10 p.m. Eastern, if that clock does not start at 10 minutes, then Ryan will have officially lost.
I owe you $4 million.
You owe me $4 million. You worked in banking. You understand embezzlement. Get on it.
Exactly. I'll figure that out. I could definitely launder money.
Hey, don't let me get my grandfather involved. That's all I'm saying. He did it. Also, James Jones on the fucking stage. That man is that man's an absolute dog.
Did you just dime out your grandpa?
Hey. He was already arrested for it, so he's gonna be charged twice.
Wow, Joe.
No double jeopardy here.
This was an unexpected turn for this.
You can't be charged twice.
That's 100% true. We all know.
Yeah. So he did his time. He may or may not have been in the mob.
Awesome.
And that's him. And Lou Zolo Sr. is.
I'm just more terrified of your dad now. Never even met the guy.
I wouldn't be.
No, he's an angel.
I would not be terrified of.
They said the same thing about Joe's grandpa, but I just learned a lot about him.
He rode on a Zamboni with
I
Joey
saw
Chestnut.
That was very cool.
In a Generation X hoodie and bucket hat, while Joey Chestnut shooting fucking t-shirts out at the crowd.
That was cool, Joe. I was a little proud of you myself in that moment because I'm sure your dad was fucking ecstatic. So
yeah, I mean, I was Joey Chestnut's like chauffeur.
I saw you crouch down, just trying to be out of the spotlight.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's Joey's moment. Oh, and Ryan wins. The clock has officially started.
Clock is started.
Yeah, so we all owe Ryan $4 million individually. So
now
the Titans, fun fact, have not selected first overall since 1978.
Wow,
Earl Campbell.
Yep. So their track record of picking first overall is pretty good when you think about
fantastic.
it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
100%.
Batting 1,000 with Earl Campbell on that one. Will Levis is 5-16 career as a starter in the NFL.
I'm actually shocked the Titans have not picked first since 1970. Like, it's not like they've had a quality team.
Yeah, they haven't been great.
Yeah, Jeff Fisher, they were 7-9 for like 2
That's
decades.
true. Yeah,
the Forever 500 crew. The Forever 500 crew. It is interesting. What is funny is Daniel Jeremiah's top 200 available. Cam Ward is ranked 8th.
Yeah, I noticed that when I was putting my mock together today on PFF, the quarterbacks are ranked terribly when it comes to the
PFF does everything based on their grades.
Yeah.
And I mean, their grades obviously are very subjective anyway.
Stupid.
That's pretty much what I thought as I just use it because it's a clean tool to put my mock together. I did my mock without that. I just to send the image to our group chat and to a friend of mine. I was like, PFF has the cleanest interface by far. So
something that made me angry while I was quickly watching ESPN. They were going over like all the insiders for each team were checking in on certain things. And they checked into the New Orleans Saints, who they mentioned that, their heavy focus on getting some new defensive linemen for Brandon Staley's 3-4 scheme. But they also mentioned look out for them to potentially go quarterback, maybe not in the first round, but at some point. And they're targeting Jackson Dart and Tyler Shugg.
There you go.
Those were the top 2 guys on their board. Was Jackson Dart and geriatric patient Tyler Shugg.
Why not go get another injury-riddled quarterback when it's exactly what you're dealing with right now?
It absolutely blows my mind here. And I do have Player Profiler pulled up for tonight in hopes that, of course, all of these teams will draft somebody that
we get some great comps.
Compare them to. And I will not reveal Cam Ward's Player Profiler comp until he is officially revealed as a Tennessee Titan, which again should have been at the 9:59 mark of this fucking draft clock, because why do you need more time? Absolutely ridiculous. They're talking about some of the additions here for the Tennessee Titans. They added a lot on the defensive side of the football, and it's a lot of older named guys, some veterans, I assume, to help these younger guys out. They did add Joey Sly and Johnny Hecker in case you were keeping up with the special team side of the ball, folks. I know I wasn't, but that's where we are with the Titans, guys. Anybody chime in to say anything? I don't really know how much to fill here.
Yeah,
when we know who's going to be drafted.
It just makes me, I don't want to say nervous. Like we talked about this a lot last night. I'm not all that bought into Cam Ward, but I do like him as a player. But I definitely want to see what they do. The 33rd pick to me is so important now because I want to see if they go get somebody else. Like Calvin Ridley's good, but like that's it. And we're talking
Ridley was good.
Yeah, that's fair too. We're talking Van Jefferson, busted ass Tyler Lockett, and bust Treylon Burks.
They actually have the 35th pick.
Oh, okay. Oh, was it one of those tie situations? Okay. But I'll be real interested to see what they do there because you have the possibility of a guy like Luther Burton. You have a possibility of a guy like Emeka Egbuka if things don't go great there. There's enough quality wide receiver twos that if you truly believe in Calvin Ridley, but then the question is, you spent that one a couple of years ago on Treylon Burks, and I mean, obviously they're willing to move off of players. We saw it with Will Levis. It's just, I don't know. I don't feel great about Cam Ward. I don't feel great about the Titans as a fantasy team, but they have an interesting offense coming from that Bengals tree. It should be better than it is.
Well,
I don't get it with Ward at all. Like when he was at Wazoo, I'm like, this kid's got a chance. There's no way he's the number one pick caliber player in the draft. I don't see it.
I get worried about that too, Joel. Like a lot of people brought that a year ago. He wasn't the number one pick of this draft, and he kind of shot up. And I don't know.
He wasn't a first rounder. Yeah, this time last year.
Well, it's the same thing that I said yesterday, right? It's every stop that he's been at, he has progressively gotten better as a player. He's coming out in a year where there's not a ton of elite caliber quarterbacks. He, maybe the best of not a great bunch. And when a team that really needs a quarterback is sitting at number one, that's where you're going to go. Because even if you go through and you add a Travis Hunter, if you go through and you add an Abdul Carter, they're not going to be the type of difference makers that can actually keep them from ending back in that top three. Cam Ward can be because everything goes through the quarterback position.
Yeah.
I just feel like last year he would have been like 7th of 7, and I think it would have been pretty not close. Like he would have not. I don't think he's a first rounder last year. I don't get it. You have fun, but
I said it last night, and I was
like a pick that sets your franchise back like 5 years.
I was chatting with Chris Molina, who will be on with us later, about this. It's just like I also feel like the Titans are so, I don't want to say gun shy because that's not the word I'm looking for, but they feel so pressed to get a quarterback because of their recent failures at that position. But to Joel's point, this could be taking him 1 overall, the worst mistake of the bunch. And again, I'm not like I fell into this trap last night. I'm not trying to just sit here and shit on Cam Ward. He has some things I do like to see. I just don't know that this is a team ready to compete. And I'll say it again. If it's me, taking Travis Hunter. There's only one Travis Hunter. So
the weapons around the quarterback that Cam Ward is now. Cam Ward has officially been drafted.
Yeah.
Would you like to know what happened with the 2nd overall pick? The Cleveland Browns are training the number 2 overall pick, a 4th round pick, and a 6th round pick to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Is Ashton Genty about to be the 2nd pick of this?
The Jaguars are
I think
trading.
they're moving up to get Hunter.
So, hey, why am I blanking here? Who called that in his last draft? Yeah.
So the Browns and Jaguars will swap 1st round picks. The Jags will go to 2. The Browns will go to 5.
Wow.
The Jaguars will give Cleveland a 2nd round pick. They will pick swap. Yep. 2nd round pick this year. They'll pick swap in the 4th round this year. And they will give Cleveland a 2026 1st round pick.
Yep.
So,
whoa! I mean, a 2026 1,
a 2026 1.
So Cleveland got 5, a 2, and a 1.
Yes.
Wow.
And pick swap the 4th.
Good on Cleveland.
That's a great deal for them.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Cleveland needs all the ammunition they can get after losing all those picks in the Deshaun Watson debacle.
Well, they need cheap players because they're in salary cap hell too.
Yep.
Because of the Watson debacle.
so I mean, yeah,
do they go tackle at 5?
there's a chance.
I did hear some buzz that if they were to accept a deal and move back, that tackle would come into play. I mean, that offensive line has been decimated over the years with injuries and age.
So, I mean, we've talked enough about Cam Ward. We can get right off that. I don't really know. Like, this on paper looks like a good Cleveland Browns trade. They won. But if we sit here and let's play the game that Travis Hunter is Travis Hunter, right? Like, he becomes what he was in college, and a stud corner, can play both sides of the ball. Like, that's another Cleveland blunder.
I would say Cleveland has traded this away 2 times off my. They traded Julio Jones away, and they traded Sammy Watkins away, which I guess isn't
not horrible,
the worst thing in the world, but
yeah. And for the NFL's youngest GM in NFL history, what a bold trade!
Yeah, to move up
in your first ever draft. That is that's hefty. That is very hefty. So we have to imagine this is.
It's also going to sell tickets, which Jags desperately need. So,
Yeah.
Would we be surprised if they go Genty here?
Oh, shocked.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would be shocked if you give up that much to go get Genty. Yeah, that would be a shock.
I agree. That would shock me.
He better rush for 2,000 fucking yards next year.
But and that's the thing.
You need Chris Johnson with longevity if you trade up that much to get Ashton Genty.
And that's the thing is, do you think they thought that somebody was going to jump them at 3 or 4? Because obviously the Patriots and the Giants are probably not going to trade with Jacksonville. So did you think that they thought somebody was going to jump them at 3 and 4, that they needed to make such an aggressive move to jump up to 2 to get Genty?
No, I think it's 100% Hunter.
Your defense is still so bad that even if you make an offensive pick, like you're aspiring to be the Bengals. I mean, that's your best case scenario.
I don't know that the Jags hate Travis Etienne the way the fantasy world has turned on Travis Etienne.
I mean, between Tank Bigsby and Travis Etienne, like they were just fine. Now Peterson kind of like molded Etienne more into like that scat back kind of role, but I mean, he was a guy that had over 250 carries 2 straight years before that, was plenty effective doing it. He has a nose for the end zone. He knows how to score touchdowns. He had over 80 at Clemson. Like, Etienne is not a bad back by any means. No. So I don't understand the hate for him, honestly. But you bring in someone like Tank Bigsby, who took a jump last year and actually learned how to run the football. Like, their running game is going to be fine, especially with Liam Cohen's system.
Yeah, They just need to use them more in a 1-2 tandem. Travis Etienne is not an every down back. Travis Etienne is becoming more.
Yeah, and he never should have been.
No, I think he's better in a scat back type role, and you use Bigsby as your more a Zeke Tony Pollard situation, and Etienne is Tony Pollard. I think that's probably your closest modern day equivalent.
Well, I mean, even look at what the Bucs did last year with Rashad White and then Bucky Irving, right? Both of those guys had close over 150 carries, if I'm not mistaken. You can very easily do that with those 2 backs.
Neither of those are bruisers, and that's why I like going back to Zeke and Pollard, because Zeke was the bruiser, and then Pollard was
but Tank Bigsby runs hard. He can play that bruiser.
That's what I'm saying. Is Bigsby is the Zeke in this situation?
Yeah,
and then you have Etienne becoming the Pollard. I mean, truly, as much as we dog on the fucking Cowboys and everything, that's probably one of the best uses of a running back tandem in recent NFL history. That's one of the best uses of a running back tandem for a singular season, at least. Obviously, they didn't get much after that because then Pollard moves on, or Zeke then moves on because he's of old age.
Look at Gibbs and Monty the last 2 years too.
Gibbs and Monty also great. Yeah, that's another great tandem right there, and that kind of laid the groundwork with that. Jaguars pick is officially in. No word on exactly what it is yet. We'll wait for Roger Goodell to come to the podium or a lovely tweet that will somehow beat the broadcast, because that's just how life works now. Yep. Don't tell me. I'm the guy. You somehow always have it before all of us.
He does.
Yeah. Are you there?
Josh is our NFL insider.
Yeah. Are
Josh
you
is a
there?
source.
It's good for you to have it first.
It's in the banner.
Yeah, it's good for you to have it first because
Caesar brings
you're
up
you're the one doing
question.
the banners. I don't know where any of these banners are. I'm not gonna lie to you. What banners? What category is this
Go
in?
under website socials.
Ah, beautiful. Thank you. And yes, to nobody's surprise, it was Travis Hunter. They did trade up for Travis Hunter. It'll be interesting to see where they use him. Like,
yeah,
how are they going to use him?
I mean,
He's got to play corner for them.
It has to, but I mean, he's going to get exactly. The question is how many targets? Because I'm plugging these guys in as they get drafted, and it's such a depleted wide receiving core. You have Brian Thomas Jr., who looks like a certified stud. You have Travis Etienne, who should be a 75 target back, but then you're going Gabe Davis, Parker Washington, De'Ami Brown, 75 targets between them.
Elite.
Brenton Strange, who looked decent last year, and they kind of like turned the keys over to him now. 75 target guy. Like, how many 70? Like, because I don't know if Travis Hunter is just a 75 target guy or if we should see him moved up. That's what's going to be interesting to me.
I think
at the end of the day, it's all going to depend how many snaps he gets on offense.
Yep.
I think how Hunter should be used is he should be primarily a corner, and then I think you have 30% of the offensive plays or packages have him involved. So use him for 30% of your offensive plays, or you just you're using him in any 4 wide receiver set. He's 100% on the field,
obviously. And
then in a 3 wide receiver set, maybe he rotates in.
Well, that's the thing is with this team, he's going to fit a 3 wide receiver set quite well. There, if Hunter is good to go, you're certainly putting him in over Parker Washington, De'Ami Brown, and probably Gabe Davis. It just depends on how they're going to deploy everybody XYZ. I'm talking about roles. So, I mean,
yeah. Well, this thing is, if you can play BTJ on the outside, he's your all around wide receiver. I hate Gabe Davis, but if you want to use him as your blazer, if not, use De'Ami Brown as the deep threat 3rd wide receiver, and then you let Hunter run wild in the slot. I mean,
which that's going to be the Chris Godwin role.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's probably more of a Garrett Wilson type role, but
just using Cohen's offense.
Just not that kind of volume. I think this is a big ding to his dynasty value.
Yeah,
if he had gone to Cleveland, where he probably plays wide receiver primarily, he's a top 5 dynasty pick in this year's class. He's probably back.
I think the difference is he actually has a halfway decent quarterback in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So that's where I kind of stood. But Joel, I'll ask you what we were talking about last night, because I know you're more in tune to IDP than most of us. Is Travis Hunter in IDP? Is he Shohei Ohtani? Is he like the first or second pick? Okay.
Yes.
He's so much more valuable than any defensive back.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you have standardized DB positions, especially cornerback, he's gonna be so much more valuable relative to his position than anyone.
I wonder how I'm in that full offense and full
scary.
IDP league. I wonder how MFL is gonna treat Hunter, because MFL is so restricted in their start positions. And so I don't think you can be 2 positions on MFL the way they kind of do their starting. So like, I feel like he's going to get, because Taysom Hill isn't 2 positions. And so it's going to be interesting. Like, I wonder how MFL is going to handle Travis Hunter.
So, according to Schefter, Jaguars are expected to play him on offense and defense. They will onboard him, giving a heavy dose to the wide receiver position while still playing him at his more natural position on defense. So that's from Adam Schefter. Also, the athleticism score, according to NFL Network on this, is 78. Can we reassess our athleticism score if Travis Hunter's a 78? Because that makes me like a 2. And I also
want to give Travis Hunter just a shout out that, like, we have watched this kid go from like that first 5-star recruit to go to a historically black college, and then obviously follow Dion, and now he's the 2nd fucking pick of the draft with a role that we've not seen in the NFL in 50 years. Like, kudos to Travis Hunter, man.
I mean, he's a good ball player.
Yeah.
All I know is my Trevor Lawrence dynasty shares Thank God.
Right. And by that you mean trade his ass tonight so that
So here's a question, because we brought up the IDP factor. In leagues, let's just call it redraft. In redraft leagues, where you start I'll just use my league for example. You have a D-line, linebacker, defensive back, couple of flexes, and you're playing, receivers, tight ends, all that stuff. Is Travis Hunter like a top 3 round pick at this point?
So let me give you this example, Joe, because I've been thinking about this today. So my home league, I've never been able to get them to go more than 1 IDP. So it's an IDP flex spot. You can put whatever you want there. Travis Hunter now gives us all the ability, a league where we can only start 3 wide receivers, to start a fourth wide receiver
in the IDP spot.
It is a 3-keeper league. If I get the first pick of the draft, which I am in line for, Travis Hunter, without a doubt, will be my pick, and he will be a keeper for me for the rest of the time that he is in the NFL. So.
Like at that, like you could argue in IDP leagues, especially ones that don't have a lot of like slots, you could argue Travis Hunter is a first round pick.
Yeah.
That's a viable argument. That you could really
20 snaps a game makes him so much more valuable than any
corner we've
quarterback,
ever
defensive
seen.
back
run 10
ever. Yeah.
Right,
Exactly.
run if he's on the field for 10 snaps, the plays are being revolved
10
and called around.
10 more snaps than any other corner is on the field.
It's
I mean,
10
if he
more
scores half a
more
dozen
valuable
touchdowns, that's
Yeah.
like a Deron Bland season that was just off the
so
fucking
true.
charts in IDP.
It's crazy. The Giants pick is officially in, so the Giants are staying put at 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting and crazy to think that you could realistically see in your like just redraft leagues, let's call Saquon the 101 after the season he had. Maybe go then Jamar Chase. Could you argue him at the 103? Like, just because of the versatility factor?
He's certainly a first round pick.
I mean, I think you would have to treat him like prime Kelsey relative to the other tight ends.
I promise you, Joel, that's the exact correlation I was about.
That's where you got to go.
I mean, he may outscore the
positional
next
advantage.
cornerback
It's
by
like
double.
It's TJ Watt. When TJ Watt was the sack captain, we all wanted to get him because he was such an advantage. He was starting CMC at the IDP spot. Travis Hunter is that, but he's that with far more consistency you would expect. So
the last time a team traded up for a non-quarterback into the top 2 was 1997. The Rams traded up for Orlando Pace.
Turned out pretty well.
I think that worked out pretty well for them. So we'll see what happens there. But the Giants pick is officially in. And just as we expected the first 3 picks to go, not to the exact teams, however, the Giants have selected Abdul Carter. I think that is the correct.
Here's what I find really interesting. So when Ari Mirov from 33rd team, when he tweeted this, the Giants are selecting Penn State defensive end Abdul Carter with the 3rd overall pick. Here's the snippet, though. The 2024 unanimous All-American and Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year joins a defensive front that already includes Dexter Lawrence and Brian Burns. No mention of Kayvon Thibodeau.
Wow.
Thibodeau sucks.
It would not surprise me if Thibodeau gets dealt.
Thibodeau blows.
He would be due for a 5th-year option, right?
Yeah.
This year?
This is year
22
3
class?
for him. Or no, it's heading into year 4.
Year 4. Ryan,
So
he's
I mean,
in
he's due
year
for an
4.
option.
What has he done? He was the 5th overall pick. What has he done?
He has not lived up to the 5th overall.
Correct.
I'll
Yeah.
give you that.
Yeah. That was like Hassan Reddick with the Cardinals. He was a top 10 pick. What the fuck did he do in Arizona?
It's so funny that you bring him up.
Well, he played so out of position in Arizona. Too.
But
doesn't matter.
that's also the player Joe and I have been fighting about for 3 years on whether or not Hassan Reddick is a good defensive player.
Straight up good. So I would not be surprised here if the Patriots trade out. I think it makes sense to
With
get
Genty,
more draft capital.
with Genty there, if these teams are as interested as they say they are, it's going to be interesting.
This is the spot trade up. If they don't trade up, I think they take the kid from LSU, Will Campbell. Thank you. I know left tackle is a priority that has been stated and mentioned by multiple sources, but I do think there is a chance they trade back and just go for any offensive lineman. That kid, Membu, Calvin Banks. There's a chance that they do that if the right deal is on the table.
a lot of nice tackles. The kid from Ohio State on top of the ones you mentioned. There's a lot of nice tackles to where if there's a trade partner,
they're going to do it. And you're talking about a team that historically does not pick where they have their first round draft pick. They always trade back. So it's not surprising if that were to happen. Abdul Carter in his collegiate career, 23 sacks and 39 and a half tackles for losses with 172 career tackles. That's pretty good in college, folks.
Pretty good.
That is pretty good. Obviously comparative to Micah Parsons, comparative to why am I blanking on Micah Parsons and Myles Garrett? Sorry, was blanking on the name there. But to go to what I did promise on these player profiler comps, we will go back to Cam Ward. His comp was Michael Penix Jr.
Oof.
Feels weird. It's been a year. Travis Hunter's comp, Stephon Diggs.
Non-existent.
Yeah, I was going to say, how can you comp him? But Stephon Diggs, player profiler does list him at the wide receiver position.
Yeah.
So that makes sense there. And for one, Mr. Abdul Carter, his player comp is nobody because they don't have any analytics on him for player profiler. So if you don't know, player profiler is heavy analytics based. So
Mr. Magic, I saw your question about is Hunter going to play both positions. The little bit of intel we've gotten from that so far was that they plan to deploy him as his normal corner position and work him into the offense. So.
Yeah, I mean, you don't give up a future first unless
you don't plan to use him like that.
Yeah, unless you're going to at least give him the opportunity to try to be a two-way star.
Yes,
whether it sticks or not is a completely different story.
What's funny is if any other team, for the most part, had traded up to get him, we'd probably feel more confident. But the Jaguars are such a barrel of fuck-ups. It's just like, maybe they're wrong about this. So.
No, you got rid of Bulky. I mean, at some point.
That's true too. That's true. I am holding some old Jacksonville bias here. So.
We did not see a trade before the draft for any first-round picks.
No,
in the first one,
Cleveland and Houston pulling off a weird ass trade. I don't get that at all.
And the one that we see is an absolute fucking dime piece. Also, again, with these athleticism scores, Abdul Carter's athleticism is 83. Can we reevaluate our athleticism score, please?
Well, a lot of these are very incomplete as well because so many of these top prospects aren't
this year.
Yeah, they're not, testing at the combine.
I don't watch.
Carter, for instance, Carter was hurt and couldn't even test at his pro day either.
Use your eyes to see.
But that's not an athleticism score, Joe.
Yeah, but you can see the athleticism. You can see it.
Your scores are based on data, and you can't plug eyes into data cells. I mean,
all I know
PFF does their best. That's how you get PFF grades that you hate. So.
All I know is I'm spending 3 hours in the gym tomorrow if Travis Hunter's a 78 athleticism. That is all I know. The New England Patriots pick is officially in. They are staying put at number 4, which, I mean, at this point in time, we'll get to Cleveland here in a second, obviously, but what does that put Cleveland to do? Are they going to take Genty at 5? Do they go?
I think this will be the spot where potentially the Bears try to move up in front of the Raiders.
The Raiders.
Yep.
Sure.
But I think offensive line is definitely going to be in play. I know Jalen Walker is a big name on the edge. I think he's a top 5 talent in this draft. I mean, Browns have a lot of different ways they can go here.
Yep. Well, the first offensive tackle goes.
I'd say it'd be interesting to see the Browns go full New England Patriots and just keep trading back.
Keep trading back, yeah.
I mean, there's a real chance that happens. The New England Patriots did stay put and selected Will Campbell, the offensive tackle out of LSU.
As it should be.
That is
4 for 4.
I mean, that was literally from the start of this whole draft process. It was Will Campbell to the New England Patriots. For a very small sliver of time, it was Teteroa McMillan, but that has since fallen off.
That's just because everybody wants the Patriots to get a damn wide receiver.
They want the Patriots to get a good wide receiver. We have wide receivers. They all suck. So Will Campbell, officially a New England Patriot. And I believe the first guy that won't be walking, I don't believe Will Campbell is at the draft. I could be wrong on that one.
Those offensive linemen, man.
Diana Rossini says Cleveland are taking calls from teams interested in the 5 picks, so they are open to moving back again.
I was going to say, like, is there somebody that they need to take there? I don't think there is.
No.
And again,
I mean, you could obviously make the case for offensive linemen. It makes a ton of sense because they haven't they lost Jedrick Wills in free agency. He hasn't even signed yet, and he's been hurt.
Yeah.
They have holes all up and down that offensive line.
But my thing is,
shit the last couple.
If you're getting any calls that help you stay within the top 10, how do you not just accept? Because like there are enough tackles for you to make the move and just keep loading up. So
tackle isn't even the best position here. Like Genty is clearly the best prospect by far. So if you're not going to take him, then you should absolutely trade back.
It's going to be very interesting to see what happens here in the next 10 minutes. Cleveland, we already mentioned cap hell with Deshaun Watson. They can't do anything about that. So they really need somebody. They need picks.
Yeah, and I mean, even next year, they're still minus 23 million over.
Well, and they keep doing they're doing the Taysom Hill thing where they just keep kicking the cap hit down the road.
Well, that was why they couldn't trade Myles Garrett, because there was just no way. They would have to cut like 7 guys off their roster to make the cap hit work.
Very interesting to see what happens, but the Will Campbell joins Morgan Moses and Garrett Bradbury as 2 additions to the offensive line that the New England Patriots made during this offseason. Those guys both suck, so like that's not great.
How old is Morgan Moses at this point?
36.
34, I thought.
As old as OG Moses.
Yeah, right.
He's never been good. He's just been solid. Like, obviously, you don't make it this long in the NFL being in your mid-30s if you're not just a solid player.
Yeah.
But he was never a world beater, was Morgan Moses. He was just good. That's all.
He's adequate.
I mean, it's the right move.
Yeah. I am mistaken. Will Campbell is at the draft. But
I mean, it's the right move with Drake May. You're doing a lot of things the right way. You went out and got a veteran wide receiver. You hope Stephon Diggs is ready to like be there and be engaged.
Will Campbell's athleticism is more than Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter. Someone kill the analytics people. Someone kill them at the stake. Burn them.
You have 2 running backs who can catch the ball, which is a must for McDaniel's system. You have a solid tight end. It's an interesting offense if Drake May is ready to take a step forward, and I liked what I saw from May last year.
I'm mad at this athleticism score. What the?
I was gonna say, Joe, you're getting knocked off your rocker.
Respectfully, a 6'6", 320-pound white left tackle has a higher athleticism score than Travis Hunter. What are we doing? What is that? I don't care what analytics say.
Sounds to me like Will Campbell might be able to play corner.
Oh, Jesus.
And receiver.
You know, these scores are relative to like
The
body
position.
types and all that. Apparently, Joe doesn't know that.
Yeah. I'm aware that it's relative to body types, but you go find me 22% of other people in the world that are 6'1", 200 pounds, that are more athletic than Travis Hunter, because you can't find them. They don't exist. He comes in as one of the most athletic 6'1", 200-pound people in this league. Sorry. 78, guys. 78. So fucking stupid. Will Campbell's an absolute massive beast. The only thing that hurt his draft stock or anything was he has short arms, apparently. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, respectfully, what is that going to do? He's 6'6", 320 pounds. You're still going to get around him.
Yeah. That's a day trip on its own.
So, very interesting. No word on the Cleveland Browns just yet. We have no word on what they are doing there. The pick is in. Beautiful. Okay,
they're picking.
Great. Look at that. They are picking.
Nice.
They are drafting. Will Campbell, according to PFF, 4 sacks allowed on 1,059 pass blocking snaps. Pretty good.
Pretty good.
That'll work.
Pretty good. Pretty solid. And he started every single one of his games at left tackle. unsurprisingly, he will be starting at left tackle for the New England Patriots, protecting, one Drake May. And with the Cleveland Browns pick being in, well, this guy's not going to have to travel too far. Defensive tackle Mason Graham to the Cleveland Browns.
The top 5 has been pretty chalk.
Yep.
Aside from the one trade, it's gone exactly how we thought it would.
I was gonna say,
And
it's
then
literally
we started talking ourselves out of the chalk.
I was saying my first 5 picks have been spot on for my mock because I didn't have the team right, obviously, because I didn't see the trade happening. So
listen, if you have the picks right, the teams don't matter at that point. So
yeah, that's exactly how. So me and my buddy have been doing this for 20 years now, where that's exactly what we do, Joe. It's based on draft slot. You get 5 points if you get it exactly right, 4 if you're 1 off, down to being 5 off and getting no points. So.
Yeah. Will Campbell crying on stage, making Jamie Erdahl cry on stage. Jamie, a mother of 2. Shocking. She's empathizing.
Erdahl cries all the time.
Yeah. Erdahl's a softie. Love Jamie. The pick is in again once for the Cleveland Browns. That's officially live on the broadcast, but it is going to be defensive tackle Mason Graham.
We did the Club Fantasy mock draft, and I had to go research for Jacksonville. And Graham seems like a really damn good player. Who was talking him up in the chat? Seems like a damn good defensive tackle. I think he's going to fit real nice alongside Myles Garrett. So
I say take some pressure off Myles Garrett. If he pans out, that's obviously a great thing. That takes pressure off Myles Garrett. That then opens it up for Mason Graham. Pretty nice coming in as a rookie when you get to play next to one of the best defensive players in the NFL. So
he's one of those guys where he's just, regardless of his ceiling, there's just no way he's not good. Exactly. He's just going to be a good player for 10 years.
Yeah, a lot of people talk about him being one of the cleaner prospects in this class. And honestly, he's going to help that Cleveland run defense. They took a massive step back last year from 2023.
Yeah, Myles Garrett did sign a 4-year, $160 million contract extension after requesting a trade. Very interesting how that whole thing went down.
That was interesting.
But that then puts us at Las Vegas. This was the
spot
team
where Genty was always going to go.
This was the spot where everyone had projected Ashton Genty to go in the first round. Do we think anything weird happens here? Pete Carroll loves drafting his defensive guys, and Jalen Walker, the kid from Georgia,
could use offensive line as well. So.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. Adam Schefter did tweet Carolina has been fielding calls about trading the number 8 pick as well. So
to Green Bay, it's happening.
Who is Green Bay trading up for?
Tet McMillan.
Okay. Joel's been on this.
I mean, they could probably just stay put where they are and get a receiver.
No. They need Tet. They need an X. Big time. They need size.
Yeah.
Mason Graham
is just redundant with Jaden Reed. It does.
Yeah, I was gonna say pretty much any of these guys, because not to the same extent, but Matthew Golden is redundant with Christian Watson, and you need somebody who's
shorter.
Different.
Christian Watson. I mean, Matthew Golden's short MVS.
Yeah,
but I'll leave my biases out of it.
Mason Graham,
you know far more about these guys than we do. So.
Athleticism score 77.
Damn.
I'm sorry. You can't tell me it's a flawed stat. That is
so the Jags gave up a second and a future first for a guy who's only got 1 point of athleticism better than the guy.
I mean, like,
what are they doing?
This athleticism score is unbelievably flawed.
Can we talk about what the Jags just gave up for Travis? Like, you bring that back. That is such a lot.
Well, here's the thing that I think that solidifies a lot of the questions that we had. They will be using him everywhere they can.
They have to.
You have to. You give up a first for a non-quarterback. You have to. Yeah, I mean, he's not an edge rusher. He's a two-way player. Edge rusher, I get. That's a very important position. Maybe a lockdown corner. I get that. Hunter is that and a number 1 wide receiver, potentially, right? He's not going to be that in Jacksonville because they have BTJ, but he can be a 1B very easily.
He's probably better as a 1B. So, yeah, I think
the fact that he's a 1B to an electric rookie. Someone asked on our show last night if Jacksonville was a spot, and I was super excited, and I am still very much excited. So I agree with Joel. In a non-IDP dynasty, the whole thing, I'm scared of Hunter in a non-IDP dynasty because more time on the field means more possibility of injury, certainly on defense. And so to me, I'm scared of Hunter. I've brought this up numerous times. IDP, I'm not. I do not care. Give me all the Travis Hunter.
So unlike
I think this also puts a lot of pressure on the Cam Ward pick, because like if Hunter's really good, and if Cleveland gets this massive haul for the pick,
oh my God, I didn't even think about that. Yeah,
if he's just like a Kyler Murray level quarterback, like you're gonna look back and go, "What the fuck were we doing?
Yeah,
why did we give away that this was the guy we were taking when we could have gotten that package if we just would have sat on it?"
This essentially is the reverse of Bryce Young. You could have gotten 2 1s to not take Cam Ward. So.
Pretty much. Unlike last year, where it was, I would say after the third pick, it was kind of a little crazy haywire. Nobody was expecting 6 quarterbacks in the first 12 picks. Well, within the first 6 picks, everything's gone pretty much to be expected. The Raiders have selected running back Ashton Jeanty out of Boise State.
Wow.
Give me the guy who worked with Marshawn Lynch to work with Ashton Jeanty.
I'm saying. And Chip Kelly loves a running game. Yeah. He loves a running game. He had zero issue giving DeMarco Murray a shit ton of carries when they got him from Dallas.
So where does this put Ashton Jeanty in redraft?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think he's top 5.
So are you taking him in the first round?
I would say probably back half of the second, or excuse me, front half of the second, because I still think you're going to have a lot of wide receivers that are going to go. You're going to have the Chases, Jeffersons.
He's still going to be behind Neighbors and BTJ and Nico Collins and those guys. So yeah, I think he's back.
Not my drafts. Well, welcome to Joe's fantasy football squad, Ashton Jeanty. Because I can guarantee you,
I think Jeanty could sneak in there if we're getting towards like the final weeks of August. I think he can, because you also have to stop and think that early redraft ADP is very much shaped by first dynasty drafts and then best ball drafts.
Mm-hmm.
And running backs are not going to go super early in best ball. Yeah, and then once the casual fantasy football player starts getting in their drafts in August, that's when you're going to see that excitement for the young hotshot rookie start to take off.
Just plugging him in very early in my process. I haven't even went to go figure out measurables or anything yet. Just plugging him in immediately stats out as my RB10 and probably with a lot of room to grow. So
Jeanty or CMC?
Right now, Jeanty.
Okay.
5'8", 211.
The guy that doesn't have Achilles tendonitis.
I was just going to say, I am the most injury adverse fantasy player ever.
5'8", 211.
Sorry that Jeanty did not end up in Chicago.
Yeah.
So what's funny is I'm trying to I love when the chat doesn't say anything, but gives clues. So when I saw Wendy say, whew, I thought they didn't take him because I'm just watching on NFL Network. So you guys are getting this way before me. And so I thought they didn't take him.
The Next Gen Stats powered by AWS. Obviously that is the NFL sponsorship. According to that, the top running back since 2003, Ashton Jeanty, is tied for second with Christian McCaffrey, Bijan Robinson, and Saquon Barkley. You want to know the guy who's number 1? Reggie Bush at 98.
Yeah.
So
do you think he keeps the Michael Myers stance in the NFL? Do you think they're going to let him do that shit?
Oh, yeah. Why not? Absolute menace. I'm very interested to see what he does. But Ashton Jeanty, your newest Las Vegas Raider. It's pretty good. They're showing his I believe his Lone Star of his high school or something like that. Going
out in
crazy.
That area, you kind of have a built-in fan base because he played out west. The Raiders are also a team that needs to sell tickets, so they got that big shiny Roomba. they need to make sure they're filling it up every week.
Yeah, the Death Star. They don't fill that up with their home fans or even the away fans at this point. So, and the New York Jets pick is officially in. They are staying put. They are not taking a tight end, you fucking dummies, who said Tyler Warren was one of the New York Jets at 7. They will be taking a position they actually need, which is offensive tackle Armand Membu.
Damn, my mock draft is perfection right now.
Jamie Erdahl is the same height as Ashton Genty, in case anybody was wondering. Now, I'm sure Jamie Erdahl is in heels. I can't see the full body look, but Jamie Erdahl is the same height as Ashton Genty currently on the stage. Ashton Genty probably just looks like another guy walking down the street, just with like calves the size of refrigerators. But in case you're wondering,
I think the biggest storyline now, and this is the one we talked about, is Caesar brings up in the chat, the Bears should still get a good running back. And I don't disagree with that statement at all. It's going to be kind of hard not to get a good running back in this draft. But now, is anyone going to force Amarion Hampton? Is anyone going to force Travion Henderson? Or are we going to let the draft come to us at this point? So,
I mean, the way the draft is going, it kind of seems that way.
Yeah.
I mean, the noise we were talking about yesterday was, you know, there's so many of these picks and quality of players that there's only so few elite prospects, right? Everybody else, like, there's not a huge difference between 10 and 32 on most people's boards, right?
Yeah.
It's all very similar. So the idea that, oh, people are going to trade up to want to get their guy, blah, blah, blah. Some of these teams that are looking to trade up, they're not offering what is traditional on like the trade chart value, right? Like they're offering like 70 cents on the dollar. So a lot of these teams are going to be like, so where's really the value in me trading back at this point? Like there isn't. So I may not see as many moves as we might think.
The value becomes, is there a player you can trade back to that's the same on your board?
Yep.
So it's going to be very team board dependent, whether
100%.
we're going to see a lot of trades.
I brought up, I was worried about, I don't want to say worried because I didn't have a dog in the race. I was worried about the Raiders with Chip Kelly having 2 of his guys in this draft, but clearly they were like, no, Ashton Genty is a beast of another creation. So,
minutes after drafting Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau's 5th-year option has been picked up. So
much for that one.
Yep. So they are still sticking with Kayvon Thibodeau. In hopes that, you know, he looks good next to the best defensive tackle in the NFL and one of the best.
Well, I mean, and that's a lot of the reason why the Giants didn't re-sign Ojulari, right? Like he ends up hitting free agency, and they were just going to let it play out. They had him, Burns, Thibodeau. You know, if he ends up having a good year, he signs a rich contract. They get a higher compensatory draft pick, right? Ojulari didn't have a great season. Obviously, the Giants as a whole didn't.
Well, I said they barely played him.
Ojulari only signed for like a 1-year deal with the Eagles.
The Giants gave up on Ojulari. As someone who had him in a couple of my IDP dynasties, Ojulari was a big problem. Like he was a tweener that
I know, but what I'm saying is they went into this season when they made that Brian Burns trade. They made it last draft, right?
Yeah.
So you bring in Burns to pair with Thibodeau, you sign Burns to that, you know, big time extension, and then it becomes, all right, Ojulari, let's see what you got, right? That's essentially what they're doing here with Thibodeau because he's entering year 4, year 4, and they have the ability to, you know, they lock in that 5th-year option. So now they've got 2 years where they can have elite edge play.
Yeah.
And you need that when you face Jaden Daniels and Jalen Hurts twice a year.
I think so. I'm looking at his stats because I like Kayvon Thibodeau. 12 sacks, obviously, in 2023. Took a big step back last year. But to Joe's point, and I think the maybe larger concern is, I'm looking at his tackles for a loss versus his sacks. He's only made in his career 4 tackles for a loss that weren't sacks. So he's getting after the quarterback when they ask him to, but he's not disrupting plays. So
He's a one-trick pony. That's all he is. He's a one-trick pony.
And Joe, this goes back to the debate you and I've been having with Hassan Reddick for years, because Reddick was also a one-trick pony. And that, if it fits the role, I'm not bothered by that. But I do get where you say that's not good enough. So,
especially when you're drafted 5th overall. Like, cool.
They
dude.
could run a pretty sweet NASCAR package with Burns and Thibodeau and Abdul Carter and Dexter Lawrence.
But I mean, and when you look at those Giants Super Bowl teams, what did they have? They had elite pass rushes.
Excellent front sevens, yeah.
They also had a lot of other things, but yes.
But I mean, that was the staple of that defense.
A running back, a receiver.
Let's not forget that the Giants defense,
another receiver.
But the Giants defense in the first half of last season was leading the league in sacks.
Yep.
A secondary, a linebacker.
Here I am, the Eagles fan, actually sticking up for the Giants, and Joe's still shitting on them. I love it.
A kicker, another receiver, another running back.
Hey, Joe, Armand Membu has a 94 athleticism score.
I just like someone make it make sense. Someone make it make sense. 6'4", 332. Yeah, he should have a 94 athleticism score. So should Travis fucking Hunter. Like,
Joe's like a little wind-up soldier. You just gotta
at this point in time. At this point in time, Travis Hunter, of everyone drafted, has the lowest athleticism score. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Absolutely wild.
Like what? Top
and the highest
athleticism
and the
score.
highest,
the highest athleticism score of all offensive tackles in this fucking class. Great. I can't wait for the first actual receiver to go off the board, and his athleticism score is like a 95.
Yeah.
Here's been a fun point, because we know that a lot of the people that are running the Jets now came from Detroit when they hired Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn's first year in Detroit, they drafted Penei Sewell, 7 overall, play right tackle. 4 years later, now they add the Jets add Membu to play right tackle.
I'm gonna throw my ignorance out here, mainly for you.
Penei Sewell confirmed. Love it. That's a career arc right there.
Joel, I'm gonna throw my ignorance out mainly for you. Should we read anything into the fact that he played right tackle and not left tackle?
I think he's going to be a right tackle, but like in this day and age, you've got so many good pass rushers. Like Watts are
coming from both sides now.
Or left end. Brian Burns is a left end.
Yeah,
I don't think it really matters.
There's enough value on both sides.
Okay, perfect. Just again, this is me. I admitted my ignorance on this. Like, I know back in the day, if you were the right tackle, your team better have had a hell of a good left tackle. That was
I think it's less of a blindside thing.
Yeah, and I mean, look at the Eagles with Lane Johnson. Like when they drafted Lane, they had Jason Peters, and it was like, well, you're just going to be a right tackle, and he's been arguably the most dominant right tackle since he came into the league.
The Carolina Panthers pick is in. They did not trade.
Sorry, Joel.
Are you fucking serious? I am 8 for fucking 8.
The Carolina Panthers have selected Arizona wide receiver Teteroa McMillan with the 8th overall pick.
This is the first one I'm excited about as a Bryce Young truther.
There's your Mike Evans pick. There's your Mike Evans in Dave Canales' offense. So
Teteroa McMillan will be paired with Bryce Young and will play opposite Xavier Legette. Adam Thielen is still somehow in the mix and alive, but
I'm curious what this ultimately means for Legette.
Yeah.
Because they traded up from 33 to 32 last year to get Legette. He made some strides. It wasn't anything great. But I don't know that they're going to move him to play that sort of like big slot to where maybe he plays more of that like, Godwin type role with McMillan playing the Evans role. I'm curious. Everybody
towers on the outside. Just run 2 big guys on the outside. It's very old school, but
yeah, it doesn't overly fit with what Canales is. Even when he was in Seattle, when he was the QB coach there, and they were running with Metcalf and Lockett. Like Leggette's not that like speedy quick guy. That's more Jalen Coker.
So I mean,
they still
maybe
ran Lockett on the outside. They didn't run him exclusively.
Yeah, I mean
in the
they
slot.
moved him in and out. Like he was a very and again that's kind of how Chris Godwin was in that system before Cohen got there last year and just became a slot merchant.
I mean, running them both on the outside didn't seem to be, but doesn't Tet move around a little bit as well? I thought I saw some tape of him.
He played some slot, but yeah,
not
he's
a
going to
lot.
play
He's an
primarily
X.
on the outside. Yeah,
very clearly he's an X. Like,
prototype boundary X.
Yeah,
again, very early, but he's my wide receiver 13 right now in redraft, and I'm excited.
Good God.
So.
Tet is your wide receiver 13?
All I did was give him the volume that I think the wide receiver one in Carolina could see. I have so much more to do with this, but all things being equal, very early, wide receiver 13 on 140 targets. So.
Damn. Okay. All right. You have a lot of confidence in Bryce Young.
Austin fucking kills me every draft night about my early process. I am giving people information. That's all I'm doing. Entertainment, baby.
There you go.
I said, when you're a guy like Bryce Young, you need that big guy that you can just, okay, where is he? I'm going to find him when I'm in trouble. I'm going to escape the pocket. I need to find him. I need to see him. Like, Legette, you don't know where the hell he's going to be. You know where Ted's going to be. You're going to be able to find him.
Yeah. Chris, what do you think of that statement from Ryan there?
About Tet being wide receiver 13. I was like, what did I miss?
Yeah, Tet being wide receiver 13.
I support it.
Appreciate you, Chris.
Bryce Young made some strides last year. Somebody's got to get targets in that offense.
That's the thing is I was able to give him 140 targets right off the rip in this Liam Cohen offense. So.
Look, I mean, Neighbors popped, BTJ popped, Lad McConkey popped. It's not unheard of for rookie wide receivers to pop.
And 140 ain't even that high in today's NFL.
It really isn't, honestly.
All I know is that Josh doubted Lad McConkey, and I am still making sure he remembers that.
Joe, do you want to know where Lad McConkey fell in my very first run?
Not wide receiver 13.
Wide receiver 7.
8.
Fuck yeah, he did. Fuck yeah, he did.
Until the Chargers draft a wide receiver.
I was going to say all of this is
care.
up in the air, but my very first run, which is a very rough run, I just want to keep emphasizing that.
Well,
plus,
you know what, Ryan?
Josh made me change my entire sheet this year, so it's even more
I
rough
didn't
than
make
normally.
I offered suggestions. You said,
gave me a suggestion
I like this.
that planted a seed in my brain, and I couldn't help myself.
Tet McMillan, 6'4", 219.
He's Mike Evans.
And
10-inch
you know what?
hands.
You know what?
Oh no, 71 athleticism.
71 athleticism.
We're fucked.
You're fucked.
Well, now he's 24.
I don't know what to tell you. You're screwed.
He's cut.
You're screwed.
This is why the people who said McMillan was going to fall made zero fucking sense, because the Cowboys need an X, the Chargers need an X, the Seahawks need an X, the Packers need an X. I mean, there's just no way he was going to fall. There's too many teams that need a boundary. Like San Francisco could have taken him.
If I get this next pick right, I'm going to be furious that I'm moving to a state where I can bet on the draft from this point forward.
I can bet for you. Just give me the money.
I say I'm 8 for 8 at this point. So,
well, let me ask you, Ryan, who is your pick for the New Orleans Saints?
Okay, it makes sense, and this is how I did my entire draft. I have Shadur Sanders going here.
That'll be your first miss, because I don't think Sanders is going to the Saints.
I would say
I thought you had it already, Josh. I was like, okay, well that sucks.
No, I fear you're going to be wrong, but I don't know this information yet. We're going to find out together.
I 100%. I said this when I posted it in our group chat. It was way too idealistic. I don't project trades. I just go through and I do what makes sense based on who's available on the big board and what I would do if I was that team. And it worked for 8. I had a feeling it wouldn't work for 9.
Well, we are finding out this information. Oh, goodbye, Chris. Wrong one. And we'll see if Chris comes back and joins us here. But 8 picks down, just about an hour into the draft. So for those who bet on the time it takes for the draft,
can you do that?
You can do that. Yes, time it takes for the first round.
Just,
normally,
not in New York, right?
Yeah,
no, I'm guessing it's because the draft was here for so long. They just made it where it's one of the things we cannot bet on. So.
Normally, the time frame sits around like 3 hours and 20 something minutes. Roughly, and you can bet the over or the under on that, and that's from the time the draft clock starts for the first team on the board, which, of course, was the Tennessee Titans this year. The New Orleans Saints pick is in. It is not a quarterback. It is offensive tackle Kelvin Banks Jr.
Wow. I saw him going top 10 in a lot of mocks, and I just was not bought in enough, and clearly I was very wrong.
Well, he was making that late push. Like, he was one of those guys that early on...
I'm wrong. I moved him up to 10th because I saw it in so many mocks. So,
yeah, he was the guy that was making sort of that late push with obviously the needs for offensive tackles. But he was kind of that next guy before you get into like the Josh Connerly Jr. and the Josh Simmons, who a lot of people think Simmons is probably the best tackle in this class.
So that's what I was going to say, Josh. I had a lot of trouble moving Banks up because when you looked at so many big boards, Simmons was ahead of him. And for someone like me, who I'm barely into the weeds on the offensive players, let alone the offensive or the skill position players, let alone the O-line, I was like, do I really want to? But again, where there's smoke, there's usually fire. And this was a kid that was moving up draft boards. So.
To go back to Will Campbell, somebody's tweeted Will Campbell's from Monroe, Louisiana. Bill Russell is from Monroe, Louisiana. I am sold.
All the
is what that tweet was.
All the what was Bill Russell's athleticism score?
I mean, well, I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, maybe like 42. It couldn't have been that high. All respect to Bill Russell and everybody that played basketball in the 50s and 60s. They weren't athletic.
Okay, I'm seeing Tet McMillan volleyball highlights now. This is everything I've ever wanted.
Hell yeah. All right,
Ryan, here you go. Who's your wide receiver of choice? Tet McMillan, Travis Hunter.
In
knowing their situations, where they're at, everything else that goes with it.
And non-IDP, it's McMillan. And IDP, it's
not even close. It's not even close. That was a bad question, Josh.
No, I don't think it is. Trust me, I don't think.
I thought you were going to ask about Mike Evans. That one would have been a hard.
Yeah, question. I was going to say. I thought that's where you were going. Who would you rather, Mike Evans or
Mike Evans has my heart forever. So in redraft, it's Evans. Obviously, in Dynasty, it's not close. It's Mr. Ted.
It's Mike Evans.
I'm just saying, if you look at the systems, if you're projecting what an individual player can do, like you're drafting Travis Hunter where they drafted him, the point of giving up what they gave up, he's going to play a lot of offense.
I agree. It's the fear of the unknown, if you will. I don't know what the fuck is about to happen with Travis Hunter, but I'm excited to watch. I'll probably add him in a few redraft leagues and certainly in best ball leagues just to see how it all shakes out. So,
need I remind you, Chris Godwin in this system was the wide receiver 2 in points per game before he got hurt.
Chris Godwin.
Just throwing that out there. If that is Travis Hunter's role, he is going to smoke Tet McMillan.
Well, and that's why I love Tet in Carolina, because it's the Dave Canales, which we saw Mike Evans and Chris Godwin eat. So,
and Chris Godwin and Mike Evans still wasn't as good in that particular system with Dave Canales. He was not the wide receiver 2 in points per game. That's the point I'm getting at.
Mike Evans is a Hall of Famer. Can we not anoint Tet McMillan the Mike Evans?
No, and I'm not. I'm right now. I'm just taking system and expectation for that position, not for the actual player. This is the ceiling case.
Oh, I thought Joe was going to say, let's just anoint Tet McMillan a Hall of Famer, and I was okay with it.
Was not going to say that. Was not. Kelvin Banks, same athleticism score as Travis Hunter.
Boom. Okay, now we got it. We figured it out at this point.
Again, all respect to the math nerds and the people that have helped, the sport become safer and for the health and well-being of players. But keep your numbers out of the fucking athleticism score, please. Just watch and just use your eyes. Just use your eyes. It's that simple. Just use your eyes. I hate it.
Chris, how you feel about Genty to the Raiders?
I love Genty to the Raiders. I got kind of caught up with the Jaguars Genty smoke. I think we talked about this in the chat last week. Joel and I were pretty locked in on Genty to the Raiders. I think he's immediately a top five running back in redraft.
Yeah, it's hard to argue. Like I said, I plugged him in and immediately came out at 10, but that's no measurables in any of my stuff yet. Like I haven't updated yards per carry or anything yet. So there's plenty of room for growth there. it's certainly not a competition issue.
And having the 101 in one league, I'm like, oh, thank goodness he didn't go to the Jets.
Yeah.
I would have
Here's a
been
curveball for you
panicking.
guys.
Uh-oh.
I assume there was a trade. Oh, there's not a trade. Okay. The pick is in for the Chicago Bears. Quick note before we mention that. They were showing live shots of Shedeur Sanders in his Canton, Texas draft room because he did not get drafted. Obviously, that was a projected spot for him. But the Chicago Bears pick is in.
This is the first big surprise in this draft for me.
Ooh.
So I will say, Peter Schrager did project this man to go at pick number 10. He had just projected the Indianapolis Colts to trade up for this guy. The Chicago Bears said, fuck you, Cole Kmet. You are bad, and we've been right this whole time.
Chicago Bears, confirmed Club Fantasy fans.
Confirmed viewers, watchers, and listeners. They've taken Colston Loveland.
What?
Over Tyler Warren.
Over
Yeah.
Tyler Warren, the tight end out of Michigan. They have taken Colston Loveland.
Wow.
That tells me that they're going to use Loveland more as the receiver, and Komet's going to stay in and block.
Yep.
So
That's
you think they
honest
go
to God what that tells me.
2 receivers?
Which
2 tight
now
ends
this
in the
gets
back?
really interesting because everybody has been pegging the Colts to take a tight end. Do they look to potentially
Tyler
move
Warren
up to secure him? And
I hope
Tyler
not.
Warren, a lot of people had as the number 1 guy.
Is anybody going to jump them for Tyler? Like, really? Is that going to happen?
It could.
I mean,
I
Dallas
think
could.
I think if you're the Colts, you stay put, and if Warren falls to you, you take Warren. If not, you take a fucking corner because you need one.
I hope he's nowhere near Indianapolis. What a disaster.
Oh, that would be
Yeah,
horrible for Tyler Warren.
that would
Yeah.
suck. I would hate that so much.
That would be
Me
horrible.
too.
In the NFL schedule, they're showing this. Every game will be revealed on May 14th. So we got to wait, what's that, about 3 weeks until the full NFL schedule is revealed. So, yay. Then my family and I can start planning our trip to New Orleans. Hopefully it's...
Oh, is that where you
another
guys are
time.
going this year?
That is, I mean, it's that or Jacksonville. You tell me what's better. So, yeah, it's pretty easy if you ask me. But yes, that is most likely the trip this year will be the New Orleans Saints game. The San Francisco 49ers, they're staying put. They are not moving. They are drafting, and they are taking edge rusher Michael Williams out of the University of Georgia.
I'm really surprised Walker did not go ahead of Williams.
They have where does Walker play? Does he play
Georgia.
No, duh, fucker. Where does he play on defense? Like, what linebacker position does he play?
He's a
on
linebacker who would probably become an edge.
Yeah, I mean, granted, he wasn't like a full-time edge. Like they used him more, weak side, middle. They moved him around, but they used him a lot as a pass rusher. And so I feel like this slide with Walker is that people are viewing him more as a linebacker versus somebody that will transition into an edge rusher at the next level.
And
That's the only thing I can think of.
And that
because
makes
Williams
sense.
wasn't near as productive, in my opinion, as Walker was.
Well, and that makes sense because they already have Fred Warner, who was the
Williams
best
is
linebacker.
crazy young, though. He's only like 20 and a half. He's super young.
And he's your newest San Francisco 49er, but they are announcing the Chicago Bears selection. I don't understand how we're this far ahead in drafts. Like, this was not supposed to happen. The NFL has vehemently said, please don't publish picks before they go live, before Goodell says anything. And we're a full 10 minutes ahead. But Michael Williams from the to the San Francisco 49ers. Bears pick is being announced. That will be tight end Colston Loveland out of the University of Michigan.
Are we going to see a lot of 12 personnel from the Bears this year?
Seems like it.
I was going to say, are they going to run? They're going to run a lot of.
I mean,
two receivers, 2 tight ends,
actually,
and back.
I'm going to actually look that up. I'm curious how often they used 12 in Detroit last year.
I saw a report from Rossini that said the 49ers wanted to stay put and go edge, but I didn't buy into it. I really thought they were going to go corner. I saw enough mocks to see him go corner. And then interestingly, and this is where the talent at edge gets so confused. Like, I didn't even have Michael Williams going in my first round because I don't know enough about these guys. And there's just so many good edge rushers that it's like pick a name and plug them in there. So
Yeah, they're all same tier in my opinion.
yeah, exactly.
This is
So
also
for what it's worth, Detroit ran the third highest rate of 12 personnel in the NFL last year at 32.2%.
Yeah, they got what's his
yeah.
Brock Wright or whatever. They got him in there often.
Mhm.
So
Yep. So we're going to see plenty of that then this year.
121 targets. For
Which is, I mean, that's a clear reason why. Because like with Shane Waldron was going to run a lot more 11 personnel. That's why they had, that's why Odunze was a big target for them last year. Going in here with Ben Johnson, that's why Keenan Allen wasn't a big priority to re-sign because they already had their top two guys in Odunze and DJ Moore. Now you got to go through and you got to get that pass catching tight end that can make the big difference.
75 athleticism score, in case anybody was wondering, for Colston Loveland. NFL comparison, Tyler Eifert.
it's fair.
I don't know if I like it. I love that they do mention this, and like, obviously he can't pick and choose who he's playing against, but one of his things is separation. Yeah, he's separating from linebackers that won't get drafted. Like, yeah, he should. Like, it's just, he should. Thank you for the highlight of him playing against Iowa State, breaking away from a linebacker who nobody knows who his name is. Thank you. So it's just I love when they give those little tidbits. But a good weapon. There has not been a team in recent history that has surrounded their rookie quarterback, I think, better than the Chicago Bears have been doing.
Yep.
It's
with personnel now too. So
yeah, they went out and spent money on offensive line and free agency and
the coaching staff. Like, this is it for Caleb.
Point.
All right, so I know that draft capital obviously plays a big part in dynasty rookie drafts. Colston Loveland going ahead of Tyler Warren. Where's the spot that Tyler Warren lands where you're like, all right, Warren is still going to be my tight end one in rookie drafts?
Good question.
Not Indy.
Dallas.
What is Dallas what you would prefer there, Joel?
Yeah. I mean, I think
like Dallas.
Warren is ultimately going to play like a Kittle role. Like, he's going to be a really good run blocker. Eventually, he should be a good outlet in the passing. And like, he would be so much better than Jake Ferguson. And like, if they don't draft an outside receiver, when you're just going to run with CeeDee Lamb and a tight end again, basically, yeah, I mean, he could easily get 100 plus targets in that offense.
I would say Denver, the Chargers, and there's
Chargers
no way,
definitely.
There's no
Chargers,
way there's no way he falls this far, but the Commanders. And those would be the spots
where you're still having him as one. I don't even love a lot of those spots. Seattle, I'll throw out there. This is a new offense that should utilize the tight end more. Cincinnati, though they did give Gesicki that 2-year deal. I'm not that worried about Warren.
I mean, if Warren goes to Cincinnati, then he's like a clear third wheel, and I think that's going to be Loveland's problem. Is he's going to be a third wheel in that offense,
Yep.
So
especially if you draft the running back.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what we talked about last year with Sam Laporta. Like, everybody was hyping Laporta up as, to repeat as tight end one, and I wasn't buying it. I took him way down in my rankings because if all the smoke is, we want to get Jameson Williams more involved, we're throwing to Jahmyr Gibbs, you still got him on St. Brown, what's going to be left for Sam Laporta? He's going to have to score 10 plus touchdowns again to have that top 3 value to even pay back at that price, right?
And to Josh's point, Detroit only targeted the tight end, and obviously Laporta had some injury issues, but Detroit only targeted the tight end 100 times last year, down from 136 the year before.
Yep. And
I mean,
Brian
part of that
Schottenheimer, his last stint as an OC.
Points.
Yeah.
Brian Schottenheimer's last stint as a play caller, which was in Seattle, the tight end position never saw more than a 20% target share.
Oh, I forgot he's the coach there now. I keep forgetting. It's so unreal. I can't process it.
Yeah. Now I will agree, if they don't end up upgrading that wide receiver 2 spot, like if they, maybe they go Matthew Golden here at 12, maybe they trade back and pick up somebody, whatever, then, and they go Warren. All right, I'll buy in. That's fine. Zero issue with that. I'll make adjustments in when I go through and I do my tweaks. But on the surface, play callers don't change their stripes unless they absolutely have to.
Yeah.
No, that's fair.
Still waiting on this pick from the Dallas Cowboys. Pick again officially in for the San Francisco 49ers. It is Michael Williams out of Georgia, edge rusher. And that rounds
Somebody's
out
got to support Nick Bosa. More importantly, somebody's got to carry the weight.
Because Nick Bosa sucks.
I was waiting for it. I know you too well, Joe.
Unless it is a quarterback of a darker skin tone, Nick Bosa disappears. Guys, I don't make the stats.
He's anti-melanin.
Fully. I don't know what to tell you. His stats are better against minority quarterbacks than they are against white quarterbacks. I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules. That's just what it is. That is the world we live in. So we'll see. This this prospect draft room, like the green room, is low key depressing because there's like 7 guys there. Like
there was a guy.
It's like a warehouse.
Someone tweeted out the walk up music for some of the prospects.
Yeah.
And there was a guy. I'll fully admit this again. You guys know how I know a lot of the skill position players. I didn't recognize the guys. He's like a guard from Alabama, was the first player on the list. I was like, this guy has walk-up music. I don't even know who the fuck he is, and I don't have him going in the first round. So.
Tyler Booker?
Yep, that's exactly what it was. I was like, who is this human being? I had to go look him up.
Sorry to this man.
Yeah.
Guessing that's for tomorrow? I don't know.
Yeah,
it's got to be.
Day 2 walk-up music.
That man's going to have to spend one extra day in Green Bay.
For Seattle. If
that's
Seattle
what I saw.
down,
that's where I saw his 22.
They're so
down,
weak in the interior. Yeah.
Although that tackle from North Dakota State can play any position, so I think that versatility there is interesting.
Gray Rabel. What was that his fucking name?
Zabel.
Gray Zabel. Who names their kid Gray? Just Gray.
Somebody from North Dakota, obviously.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I mean, they don't got much going on there. I'm gonna be honest with you. I live there. There's not much happening. Gray Zabel. It is crazy how North Dakota State pumps out at least like one
NFL talent every single year.
Like FCS powerhouse, North Dakota State. Like unbelievable.
And Trey Lance.
And Trey Lance.
And Trey Lance.
And Carson Wentz. And
Easton Stick.
Easton Stick, baby. Don't you forget that name. Easton motherfucking Stick.
He just signed. Where did he sign?
I don't know. With the San Antonio Brahmas in the UFL? I have no idea.
I didn't realize Trey Lance signed. Where was it? The Chargers, I think?
Chargers.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. From one bad North Dakota State quarterback to another. Like, what are we doing? We're still sitting here on this Dallas Cowboys draft pick, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
they've been on the clock.
Got theirs in hella quick.
Yeah, the Cowboys have been on the clock.
I wonder if Goodell just cracked down and just said, "You fuckers, you better stop leaking this shit because we're way too far behind."
I mean, there's a chance. Michael Williams, 6'5", 260 pounds, runs a 4.77 40, but his athleticism score is only a 76. So when you think about it, is he even that good?
No.
I
don't even have to think about it. The answer is no.
Has had the lowest production score of anybody drafted so far. It was in the mid 60s.
He had an ankle injury last year. I mean, he dominated Kelvin Banks a couple times in the two Texas games.
They are showing highlights of him beating Kelvin Banks.
I mean, that was the knock on Kelvin Banks was he got blown up in the 2 Georgia games.
Well, it is Georgia. So
yeah, no, I'm not. But this kid Williams can play. He's really young. He had an ankle injury last year. He's a good prospect. He's a very good run defender.
And good news for him, it's really hard to speed in San Francisco with all the hills. So knowing Georgia players, we should be okay. It is also easy to just like drive off the side of a hill and then total your car. So we'll see how that goes.
Take the cable cars, don't drive.
Right.
Literally. The Dallas Cowboys pick is in, and they have selected offensive guard Tyler Booker out of Alabama. Speak of the devil. Speak of the devil. That's actually hilarious. This guy I never heard of. Well, Ryan, he's a Dallas Cowboy now, you bitch. I can't wait to hear what his walk-up song is.
It's a Jay-Z song.
Oh my
Instant karma.
All right, Ryan,
Instant karma.
That's amazing. Are you ready for my expert breakdown on Tyler Booker?
That's a big reach, in my opinion. But heck.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Jerry
look,
Jones reaching
this is
in the
what
draft?
they did. This is what they do, though. They value the trenches. They've been doing it for years, and they wasted all of that talent with Frederick and Martin and Tyler.
Martin just retired, so you got to retire.
Exactly, and Tyron Smith. Like, they wasted all that talent and got nothing out of it in terms of NFC Championship games, Super Bowl appearances, all that. Like, absolutely wasted. Now all those guys are gone, and that line was absolute dog shit last year. This pick does not surprise me at all. What surprises me is that every single pundit was, oh, they're going wide receiver. They're going skill position. They're going to get Matthew Golden. They value the speed to play opposite CeeDee Lamb, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter if Dak Prescott can't stay upright.
I say I definitely fell into that trap, but it's a very good point.
But I mean, they reached last year for Tyler Guyton. There's a work in progress. Yep. Speaking as a
well, I mean, Guyton was never going to be. He never should have started last year, right? He was a guy who was going to. He was a project. Develop. Yeah,
this guy's slow. 6'4", 321, 5'3", 40-yard dash, 56 athleticism score. That makes sense.
I was going to say if his athleticism score is over Travis Hunter, Joe's going to explode.
So, I would find PFF headquarters. I would drive to him. I would find where Jeff Bezos lived. Dude, I would be at the next Blue Origin rocket launch just to punch Jeff Bezos right in the taint for coming up with this dumb shit athleticism score.
It's like they flip-flop between drafting for need and then just drafting best player available every year. It's hard to gauge Dallas.
I think Jerry in his mind,
except they never actually drafted best player available.
I mean,
well, in Jerry's mind,
Lamb, Micah Parsons.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So Tyler Booker, but yeah, to Josh's point, the Dallas Cowboys had, you could argue one of, at least for a season or two, one of the best offensive lines since the turn of the century. And
since the last Dallas Cowboys offensive line.
And they got 0 playoff wins out of that team. That just goes to show how horrible Jerry is at building the rest of the team. So
yeah, I mean, for like Chris said, I mean, for every Micah Parsons, there's a Taco Charlton and a Mazzie Smith, and they've blown just as many as they've made. Great.
I remember making so much fun of that Mazzie Smith pick.
You were so mad at that one.
Oh my god, I fucking pinned that Mazzie Smith pick. But yeah, he is all over the place. It is either an absolute home run draft pick by Jerry Jones, or it is Taco Charlton. Correct. And there is no in between.
There's no in between.
It's so bad.
Didn't know I was sacked last year. I mean, he's a guard, but
26 of 37 career games he started. 0 sacks, as Ryan said, on 371 pass block snaps in 2024. 2 sacks in general and just under 1,000 snaps. Started all 13 games last year, 12 at left guard, 1 at left tackle.
His quarterback was Jalen Milroe. I mean, how many sacks did he actually take?
That
could have been that many.
Yeah.
Behind an Alabama offensive line.
Yeah, Bama offensive line. You got Ryan Williams out there.
Yeah, you shouldn't be taking many sacks.
Yeah.
No. Second team all SEC in 2023. I'm just educating Ryan on who this guy is because he has no idea.
Yeah.
Milroe took 23
he
sacks.
Likes Jay-Z. Oh.
Was it really?
Milroe
That's
took
crazy.
23 sacks in 2024, 44 sacks in 2023.
Well, this kid's only allowed 2 in 1,000 snaps or whatever. So
I love that they're showing his run game movement. Guys, he runs a 5.38. Athletic puller. You just rated him at a 56 athleticism score.
Yeah.
Truly, what are we doing? God, I hate analytics.
I mean, he danced all the way to the podium, so he's going to be a little athletic.
And he carried another extremely large man with him for half of that. So.
Are we discounting the Dolphins' need for speed? I haven't even mocked someone like Matthew Golden.
So, Chris, I considered
way
it
they
just
go
because
receiver.
with the shit they've dealt with Tyreek Hill again
Yeah.
this week or this month.
Who was that?
Or
Who was
this
that
year.
super? Who was that super fast corner though? Who's the guy that shot up?
Today, Barron.
Oh yeah,
Janae Barron. There's your Miami.
Hairston.
Hairston's the
Hairston
fast
from
one.
Kentucky.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go. Harrison. I don't know who he is. That's your newest
That's
Miami
their guy.
Dolphin.
I
Hairston.
did see. Was it Daniel Jeremiah or Schrager? I don't know. It was one of the NFL Network guys that when they did their mock, they had Hairston actually come off as the first corner over Barron and Will Johnson.
Was he going to Miami?
No,
Oh
no, he didn't go until I think it was somewhere in the 20s.
well,
I think.
the
Well,
pick is in.
if it's Harrison and I'm able to go 3 consecutive picks with guys I didn't have in the first round, that's going to be really fucking impressive.
After going 8 for 8 on the
8 for
first
8,
pick.
yeah, the rise up and the come down.
Yes. And ironically, you went 8 for 8, and then you immediately said, "I can't wait to bet on the draft next year."
Yeah,
And then
this
you
is
haven't
why-
hit a pick since.
This is why
So-
I'll still be living in New York next year.
Yes, exactly. So Miami Dolphins pick is officially in. We don't know exactly who it is, but the pick is in on
say, I haven't
NFL
seen-
Network. They're saying Tua led the NFL with a 73% completion percentage.
Well, you throw to the running back 100.
I was going to say when you
And
what-
Jonnu Smith.
when you
Yeah.
when
Yeah,
your
right.
average air yards are -2, like I guess right. Jalen Waddle,
They have to go secondary here, right? I mean, just
You would
they
think
have
so,
nothing
especially with
without
the
Ramsey.
trouble they're
Literal-
having. With
I
Ramsey.
lost Javon Holland.
even
Kadar
with
Kohu
Ramsey,
is their
they
best
had.
best secondary player. That's not good.
Kader Kohu, dog. First off, okay, dog.
Dog name for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean they need safety, corner. They need
Quarterback.
it all, honestly. Yeah.
Feels like it's got to be Barron because Barron can play all over. So if you if you have needs all over, play the guy who
Move
can
any
play
of
all
those
over.
positions. Yep.
We're gonna find out. They took Chop Robinson last year in the first round. In 2024, he has been sort of an edge mix for them. They did not have a pick in 2023, so some newness here for the Miami Dolphins. As we know, they like to choose track stars. They also did not have a first round pick in 2022. So in
One of those picks they lost.
One of those
to
was a
tampering.
tampering pick, right?
one of those was a tampering pick. In 2021, they took Jalen Waddle, of course, out of Alabama. And then they also took Jalen Phillips in that same draft. So no stranger to drafting an edge rusher on the defensive side of the ball. And in 2020, they took Tua. So that's been the run of Miami Dolphins first round picks here recently.
I had him going D tackle just to solidify the interior of the line. So
Well, Ryan, it looks like you were right. What defensive tackle did you have?
Walter Nolan.
Oh, well, you're still stupid.
Ah.
Kenneth Grant, the defensive tackle out of Michigan. You fucking dummy, obviously.
Fucking idiot.
Yeah, you dumbass. Not even in Daniel Jeremiah's 10 best available. Like, who do you think you are? Do you even know college players? Do you even play NCAA?
I do that. I do not know college players.
I'm already in
Oh,
like the year
guys,
2039.
Guys, the Dolphins.
Yeah, I don't have time to know these real players.
the Dolphins don't need a wide receiver. They got Nick Westbrook-Akine,
That's true.
That's fair.
Winning.
and they don't
Best
need
free
they
agent
don't need
acquisition
secondary.
right
They
there.
got Ifeatu Melifonwu, the safety. Guys, we're fine. Defensive tackle Kenneth Grant out of Michigan. Does anybody know anything about this man?
He's
I haven't
huge, really good run stopper, but he plays too high. He's got to learn to drop his hips.
But what's his
If his pad level
athleticism?
gets too high.
I had
It's
him
probably
going-
massive because he's a huge dude who can move.
Let's say I had him going to the Bengals 5 picks later. I just had.
And
I would bet his athleticism scores in the 80s.
Adam Schefter
Ooh.
tweeting propaganda again, saying that this is the third Michigan player to go in the first 12 picks, with the Dolphins picking at number 12. Incorrect, Adam. They are picking at 13. Good try, though.
Loser.
I mean, that one's a fucking layup, my guy. Just look at the screen. That
Just
one's a
look
layup.
at the screen, bro.
6'3", 331 pounds, 5'1", 40-yard dash. One of the notes, it just says
68
destroyed.
They don't fucking exist anymore.
Like it says run stuffer, other destroyed USC.
He's like King Kong.
That's
or
it.
fucking
Godzilla.
He had one good game.
Destroyed Tokyo.
He had one good game, and it was against the University of Southern California. That was it. He had one good game. One good game. In Merrillville, Indiana. My guy, he's from Indiana. Look at that.
There you go.
I act like I've lived here my whole life. I've been here 18 months.
Yeah.
But like Merrillville, Indiana, I stayed overnight there on my drive from North Dakota.
I was gonna say, if things don't work out, you guys can get him on your arena team.
Yeah, that would be nice. Let me tell you. We do not have a guy that is 6'5", 320 pounds. So
Or a guy who destroyed USC.
Or a guy who destroyed USC. Yeah, or a guy who destroyed USC, or a guy that played against USC. But I agree. I like our defensive linemen. They're fantastic guys. Traveling to Iowa as we actually they start traveling to Iowa tomorrow. So
That's
go
awesome.
Freight.
Good luck.
They play the Iowa Barnstormers. Alma mater of anybody know?
Warner.
Kurt Warner. Baby. Kurt Warner played for the Iowa Barnstormers a while back. And the Indianapolis Colts selection is in.
This has got to be the easiest pick ever, right? Like
It is the layup.
Yeah.
He is no longer fantasy relevant. It is Tyler Warren. So for everybody that was hoping that Tyler Warren was going to be a good dynasty pick for you, he was going to be there, he was going to, do something in the future.
Oh, this does hurt.
I have news for you. He might not even be like a third round pick at this point.
He's not on my board no matter how far he falls.
I will say, if Daniel Jones starts 10 games, I feel much better about Tyler Warren.
If you
But then
told
what
me
about
that
after that?
you were starting 10 games, I would feel
Well, after
better.
that, I mean, they're going to have a different quarterback eventually. I mean, like,
They also need a different play caller. They
So-
don't feature
so that's-
any tight ends.
That's the question is we all had him. I think most people had him as the consensus one. Obviously, he was not taken as the one. And now he goes to arguably the worst team to go to that in terms of quarterback situation, but anything, any way you slice it.
yeah, I mean, Shane Steichen will use the tight end, but he's not going to pepper them with volume.
So at what point are you taking Tyler Warren in Dynasty? Where are you drafting him?
Not.
You're not.
All right. Well, I think the better question is in tight end premium, where does he go? Because I think in whether it's super flex or one QB leagues, like
85
he's a
athleticism,
second round
by
pick
the way.
in those. No question for me. But
That's kind of
he's
what I was
still
getting at. When I
like
say
tight
I'm
end
not
premium.
taking him, he's not going to fall to a spot where I'm comfortable. Late second, early third, like
Even in tight end premium, I'm late second. I'm sure one
Tight
of
end
these other
premium's-
guys are going to go somewhere.
well, in tight end
that we
premium
like.
hurts a guy on a low volume passing offense because Tyler Warren's
I was
best
gonna say
case
this is
scenario-
probably better for Anthony Richardson today.
100%.
Like,
Especially, I mean, it's an upgrade at tight end for Anthony Richardson. It's something he desperately
Yeah.
needed. So
this
Love
helps
it.
him.
Love him.
I don't think it's a good spot for him personally, but I think it's a very good spot for Anthony Richardson.
well, and the fact that Warren is the more well-rounded of the two tight ends.
Yeah.
So this is a nice move for Anthony Richardson if he can play quarterback and keep his ass on the field.
I'm
It's a
just
fine
curious
move for the
if
NFL.
Steichen is going to try to use him the same way that Penn State last year, where they worked him, doing the wildcat, where, he would run the ball more than just catch it.
Not the highlight of him taking a direct snap against Purdue, the team that went 1-10 this year. Like, also a great run blocker. Yeah, you showed him blocking a linebacker from SMU. Can we find a different clip?
So
Like-
Josh, it's far from the same situation, but Kylan Granson had good athleticism and did not run one time.
Yeah. They didn't use him the same way in college, though.
That's true too. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Like last year, the Penn
where
State
you're
play
drafting
caller
Warren,
told
knowing
you
that
how
he
to
has this
use
skill
Tyler
set.
Warren to get him the football.
Yeah,
And
that's
he carried
absolutely
that
fair.
offense.
it's probably a good thing for JT too, because he is a very good run blocker. So this is probably good for JT.
Yeah,
in terms of
it's-
NFL, it's fine.
Oh yeah, for fantasy reasons, it's horrible. But
Yeah,
for
I
NFL
think this is a good
very
spot for
good.
everybody but Tyler Warren.
Yeah. For NFL reasons, this is a great pick.
The touchdowns are the large concern. This is a team that threw 20 passing touchdowns last year, and that was with Richardson not playing the entire season. I'm sure Richardson's pace was nowhere near 20 passing touchdowns.
No.
And not to mention their leading tight end target grabber, Kylan Granson, was 31 targets.
Yeah, exactly.
I looked at least the last 5 years. No tight end has had more than 50 targets on this team.
But the Colts are a team that always gets these 1 and 2, these tight ends who always get 1 or 2 touchdowns. If he can consolidate that role and get like 8 touchdowns, I mean, he could be.
So, and that's kind of what I was thinking. So the touchdowns concern. So Richardson was on pace. Just simple math. He took half of the passing attempts for the Colts last year. He paced for about 16 touchdowns. Now Flacco threw 12 on essentially the same amount of attempts to Richardson's 8. So the team threw 20, as I mentioned. I think 20 is like the best you're hoping. But Joel, back to your point, they only threw 2 touchdowns to tight ends at all last year. Mo Alley Cox had 1. Drew Ogletree had 1. Granson, who led them in targets, didn't even have 1. So me plugging Warren in, it ain't pretty. I gave him 65 targets. I only gave him 3 touchdowns. He's my fucking tight end 29 right now. So,
I mean, even when you go back to his play calling in Philly, when it came to the tight end position, 2021, he had almost a 25% target share to the tight end position. 17.35, 20.73, 14.62. Like, it's all over the board. And it really depends on what's going on at wide receiver around him and who the quarterback, like, there's just so many other factors. I mean, you look at 2021, that was pre AJ Brown in Philly. They didn't really have anybody else, so they targeted Dallas Goedert a lot.
Yep.
2022, Goddard kind of falls back. They only had 93 targets total. 2 years ago in Indy, they threw the ball to the tight end 119 times.
I'd say it was over 100
That
times.
was Carson Wentz here. Or no, that was Flacco. That was A-Rich and Flacco.
No, 119 in 2023 would not have been Flacco.
Wait,
No.
Flacco was, yeah, so that would have been,
Minshew.
I think you're right about it being Wentz.
no, that was Minshew. That's right.
Gardner.
Yeah, that was
Yep,
A-Rich
yep,
and
yep.
Minshew.
Yeah, Gardner. And that was where Rich threw 84 passes. So that was all Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
Essentially, he would have to take like 80 to 90% of the target share from the tight end position and at least 5 touchdowns to be even.
Well, and that's the other thing is these guys carry so many fucking tight ends because they carried like 5 tight ends.
They always get hurt.
Obviously, I would say Warren has the chance to shake that up a little bit, but they carry so many.
Is this the end of Jelani Woods?
He's still on the roster. Mo Alley Cox,
Was there ever a beginning? Like
Albert Ukwabenam is there.
For what it's worth, Ryan, really quick,
Alberto.
Heath Cummings plugged Ted McMillan into his projections and came out at wide receiver 40.
Yeah,
whoa,
That's way too low.
that checks
That
out.
is way too low.
that's a Bryce Young hater.
That just checks out that Ryan's way too high on a guy.
Oh, well, let's
duh.
be fucking clear. He was 6'4". I was always going to be way too high on him.
You are like Jenny McCarthy from the league. You're a heightist.
Oh, 100%.
Heightist.
Literally on one of my teams, Joe, it was called Heightist for an entire year. And my team logo was, "You must be this tall to ride."
My team name was the EBDBB&B, and it was 2 guys putting their fishing poles in the same hole. So
You got to register on the database.
at the EBDBB&B, that's one of the best shows of all time. It's
so good.
That's a stretch.
No, it's not. Get the fuck out. That's not a
entertaining.
stretch.
One of the most entertaining.
Yeah, am I going to sit here and tell you the storylines are perfect and everything is well? No, it's not the fucking Sopranos and like all these things. I don't care about
it's
that.
It's a frat house. It's basically what it is.
I don't need depth in my TV shows. I need them to be entertaining, right? I don't need it to be the Titanic 3.5 hour long movie. I don't need that. I don't need Wolf of Wall Street. All right, I just need to be entertaining, and I'm not knocking Wolf of Wall Street. It's one of a great movie. I just need the league to sit there. I need Ruffy Bomb, and that's all I need. That's all I need.
Couldn't you have found 2 more friends and made it like a 10-team league? That's all I'm asking.
I know, right? Although I kind of like
Too
that
many
it was an
characters.
8-team league just for the shenanigans.
And the ridiculousness.
Yeah.
Because that's honestly part of the joke.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah. And then every time after like season 2, every time they brought up it was an 8-team league, people are like, "You still playing an 8-team league?"
Yeah.
But to that exact point, that's me and Josh have talked about that we're gonna do a 8-team mock draft for the mock draft show this year. Like, there's leagues out there. So
the cameos from NFL players, the weekly filming of the show to react to what was actually happening in the season, like unmatched.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, unmatched. The pick is in officially for the Atlanta Falcons, and Roger Goodell might walk on the stage before Josh Hudson types it in on our ticker.
Yeah,
We're gonna
probably. I
see.
was responding to the chat. Let's see. There we go.
This fucking guy. Jeez.
This
All
fucking
right. We're waiting. Pick is officially in. Arthur Blank is hanging up his cell phone that he has received from Raheem Morris.
This has to be Jalen Walker, right?
Yep.
Has to be.
Wait, really? The Atlanta Falcons have selected a Georgia Bulldog?
Yep.
Boom.
That's
When
insane.
When you've got the worst front seven in the league, take a guy who can play all over that front seven.
They had the second fewest sacks in the NFL last year. Absolutely atrocious.
I'm just
And half of them
shocked.
came in one game against the Chargers.
I'm just shocked that the Falcons drafted somebody from Georgia. They notoriously just don't.
I called it.
I mean, it's a factory for them. I don't like.
I don't understand.
I used to say that all the time about like the Dolphins in the 90s and like the early 2000s. Like, you have all this talent in Miami with the Hurricanes.
And you
And
don't
how
draft
many
them.
of them were actually drafted by Miami?
And in
Zero.
Tallahassee and in
Exactly.
The Atlanta
All over the state.
practice facility is literally less than an hour drive from where the Bulldogs play.
Flowery Branch, Georgia.
Yep. I ran the Chase Bank.
Yeah, you did.
I did. Met a whole bunch of Falcons players.
6'1", 243 is Jalen Walker.
I love this
Athleticism
pick for
score
Atlanta.
of 84. But in his notes, it says explosive and versatile.
Did he destroy any towns?
He did not destroy any towns. He is, however, a downhill disruptor. He sets a physical edge. Once again, Kelvin Banks being blown up on live television. And a sub rusher, whatever the fuck that means. Pursuit speed. That's good.
He goes
And
under the turf.
yeah. And his comp is Donta Hightower, which, yeah, if he's Donta Hightower, that's a good pick.
pretty good player.
Yeah.
Most defensive linemen and linebackers drafted in the first round in a 4-season span.
Yeah,
in the common draft era. The Georgia Bulldogs have officially broken that with 8 players between 2022 and 2025, surpassing.
Thanks in large part to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yes, thanks so much
And
to
the-
the Eagles.
Packers.
Surpassing, Josh, your 2001 to 2005 Miami Hurricanes, which would have been that would have been Vince Wilfork.
Yeah.
Who else would have been in that group there from Miami? Ray
Andre
Lewis would have already been
Johnson.
drafted.
Oh, we're talking defense.
It's linemen and linebackers.
Calais Campbell. No, I think he was a little later.
What? Oh.
Shit. That's 20 years ago. Shit. Let's see.
Figure it the fuck out, my guy. Are you looking it up or you need me to look it up?
I am looking it up. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I mean that was for those youngins that were not around for the Miami Hurricanes of the late 80s, 90s, and 2000s. They were
A factory.
a wagon, an absolute wagon.
At every position except quarterback.
Fully at every position except
Well, I
quarterback.
mean, we had Ken Dorsey. Like he did
I
what
just
he
meant
needed to do
for
but-
NFL for
Oh,
NFL
yeah, no,
production, yeah.
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 What fucking running back, Frank Gore, Willis McGahee.
Oh yeah, that was a running back factory. Jesus.
Unbelievable.
Portis.
Who?
Clinton Portis.
Clinton Portis.
Dog. Receiver. Didn't Reggie Wayne go to Miami, or am I making that up?
Wayne,
Or did Andre Johnson?
Michael Irvin.
Andre Johnson? Michael, yeah, that's Michael Irvin way back. Yeah, I was just thinking in the 2000s and late 90s. Absolutely just fucking loaded. And how many of them
Jeremy
ended up
Shockey.
with the Dolphins?
Cheerio.
Zero.
I think. Yeah.
They played in the same stadium.
Yeah, as I say,
Yeah.
same stadium.
Absolutely crazy. The Arizona Cardinals are on the clock. I'm still waiting on Josh's defensive lineman from 01 to 05. But the Arizona Cardinals on the clock. This will mark the halfway point in the first round, which means Joe's going to get a snack.
What do you have?
I don't know.
Pick in yet? Let me see.
We're gonna find out. The pick is not in, according to NFL Network. Reminder that the Arizona Cardinals did take Marvin Harrison last year and defensive end Darius Robinson. Who?
Yeah, I do not remember him.
I don't remember that guy either. In 2023, they took Paris Johnson Jr. I'm just pausing for a dramatic effect.
I say the Cardinals are great at taking people I don't remember.
Like, keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. The pick is officially in for the Arizona Cardinals. They are staying put. This will mark the halfway point of the first round here. This is going to be very interesting to see. Where do we think the Cardinals go, everybody?
It's just the one bananas trade, right?
Corner.
That was it.
The one banana.
I could see him go corner. I think Matthew Golden could be in the conversation here too. But to answer your question, Joe, William Joseph, Jerome McDougal, Vince Wilfork, those were like the big guys.
So it must have been a linebacker.
Yeah, linebackers would have had to be.
Yeah, linebackers was a factory. I mean, that was DJ Williams. That was Jonathan Vilma.
Vilma was probably in that group from 01 to 05.
Yeah, yep, he definitely was.
And then obviously previous to that, Ray Lewis.
Dan Morgan was part of that group as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Ed Reed
they had some
at safety, right?
Well, yeah, and Sean Taylor was on those teams.
I'd say we're just talking about the record that Georgia just broke.
Yeah,
we're all over the place here.
I know. It's just insane the amount of players that Miami just created.
John Beeson, that was another one.
John Beeson.
Oh, I forgot about him.
Yeah, Antrell Roll, starting corner.
Antrell Roll, really nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's Winslow out of jail yet?
What?
Senior or junior?
Winslow out of jail yet?
Well, I don't think he gets out of jail.
Yeah, I don't think so. Oh, we had a good run on tight ends too. I mean, that was Jeremy Shockey around that time.
Yep. The Cardinals pick is officially in. It is defensive tackle Walter Nolan.
Oh man, breaking Mapstone's heart.
Oh, that hurts me.
And there he is, Vince. Walter Nolan to the Arizona Cardinals.
I was hoping he would continue to slip.
You didn't think he's going to 32, did you? Or did they come
No, but I thought if he got past 20, Howie would start making some phone calls. Because I think he's the guy that they were really looking at.
You guys are taking Malachi Starks.
But his athleticism score is only a 65, so when you think about it, his NFL comp is Nnamdi Madubuike, formerly known as Justin Madubuike.
Pretty good player.
He has explosive knockbacks. He's disruptive upfield. Again, just reading you what is popping up on my screen here. Fluid movements.
But has he destroyed a public university?
He had nobody has destroyed a public university. The only man to destroy a public university was Kenneth Grants. The only man. The only man to singularly take down a whole college. Which, as far as the city of LA just hasn't done that yet. If anybody's been to USC, beautiful campus. The campus is gorgeous. If you spit outside campus, wow, how disgusting it is. Chris, you probably know, being in that area roughly, I imagine. But USC around it is horrible.
He's in New Mexico.
Oh, I thought you were in LA. I don't know why.
No, I'm in New Mexico, but I was just in LA a couple months ago. I prefer UCLA's side of town, to be honest.
Yeah. USC, I believe, is bordering Compton. I could be wrong.
It's in Compton.
Oh, okay, great. I was completely right then. It is in Compton. It was just very funny. My dad was walking around, and I was like, wow, this isn't a great area. And we're literally driving through fucking USC's campus. He's like, what do you mean? This is beautiful. I'm like, look outside. Like don't look at the beautiful campus that they spend millions of dollars on. Look outside of it. But we did attend a USC Arizona football game for $7. So
there you go. That was where your love for
Drake London was born.
Drake London and Keontae Ingram came from.
Yep.
Meanwhile, UCLA is in Westwood, so
yeah,
they got that.
Yeah. The Cincinnati Bengals are
kicking off the second half of the draft.
The clock, picking off the second half of the draft. So while you guys talk about the Bengals, I will listen to you, and I'm going to go find a snack. I don't know what that is yet. We're going to all be surprised when we come back.
Thought you were ordering a pizza in the middle of the stream, Joe.
See, I was thinking I was going to order a pizza, order some Jets pizza, but like I've been feeling a little chunky recently, so like we're going to go find something.
That athletic score is just tanking, isn't it?
I'm telling you, if Travis Hunter is a 78 athleticism score, I'm telling you that like I'm a 2 and you're a -20. Like that's just how this shakes out. Ryan's beard alone is like a -85.
Exactly. This thing slows me down like crazy.
Not aerodynamic at all.
No.
I still think it's hilarious that all this talk about quarterbacks, one has gone.
Yeah. Oh, and we talked about that. The over-under was 2.5, and it felt like a trap over-under.
And that's what I'm saying. Like all this talk about trading back into the first round, lock up that 5th-year option, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I
mean, Pittsburgh has got to be
far ahead, but like
Pittsburgh has got to be fucking cheesing right now that they are likely to have.
Like their guy is going to fall in their lap, and they don't even have to move because Bengals obviously aren't making that call.
Nope. Looking at the Bengals,
they just signed Arnold.
Yeah, looking at the
Bucks
Bengals,
aren't.
I really
Broncos aren't. No. Like,
well, like these guys that you trading, these guys are not ready to start. Like Dart and Chuck and Milroe, they're projects at best. So why are you trading back in to give a 5th-year option to a guy who may not ever start for you? It just doesn't make sense.
Because you're fucking stupid.
I wouldn't count out Seattle though.
What's up, Hutch? He's in backstage. He walked into because you're fucking stupid.
Hey, that's the first thing I heard the moment I jumped in. That was
I was talking to your silly little ass. No, okay. I don't even know who I was talking about. That could be a general blanket statement for most people we talk about on the show.
Yeah, this is fair.
All right, how you been feeling the first 16 picks? I'm eating cookies now, and nobody can stop me.
Beautiful. It's been really, really fun. The Browns Jacksonville trade was really fun to me. I love seeing how. I honestly did not see that coming. I'm not gonna lie. Honestly, did not. Like I thought the Jacksonville trade rumors were hot. I thought they were fun. I thought it was possible. But trading up to the Browns spot at 2 and to take Travis Hunter was not one.
And then that compensation.
The compensation was ludicrous. I mean, look, Browns fans are gonna be mad they don't have Travis Hunter, but that's a heck of a haul.
Yep.
So that was a fun trade. That was a fun trade. And then Colson Loveland going at 10 over Tyler Warren to the Bears. That's an intriguing pick. I mean, I wasn't the highest on Loveland coming in. Like I was maybe a tad below consensus on him. But after that, it's kind of hard to ignore the draft capital. He's probably going to be
anything
right
that
there
puts
Tyler Warren.
Anything that puts Cole Kmet out of a job is a-okay in our book.
Yeah, I know you guys are Cole Kmet haters. Yeah, I know.
Haters. So is the fucking Chicago Bears.
Can I just tell you? I'm going through it. I'm texting Kira all day because we're talking about the Eagles picks and everything else. And right when Colson Loveland gets picked, she texts me and she's just like, "Imagine we trade for Cole Kmet." And I was like, I will jump off a damn cliff.
Kira just wants him because
I'm rethinking our friendship now for you putting that into my head.
No, she has him on so many dynasty teams. She just wants to be able to root for him again.
Facts.
So
man. Vince, I'm already apologizing for the Bengals pick.
The Cincinnati Bengals have selected defensive tackle Shamar Stewart out of Texas A&M.
Oh,
tackle?
Man.
Why did I think he was an edge guy?
Well,
he's an edge.
End tackle.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like 290 pounds. So
Vince literally
he had a 10 Raz, so he'll blow Joe's athleticism off the scale.
There you go.
I don't. What is Raz?
Yeah, but that's the thing is like he's so uber athletic, but the production was just like
Yeah, that's what you were saying yesterday, Josh.
Yeah, but they didn't ask him to rush the passer that much. So I'm not really concerned about that because Texas A&M's defense is weird. They have one guy, they have like a designated pass rusher off the one edge, and the other guy just kind of stands there. So they didn't really ask him to rush the passer that much. That was more
Just
important
said
stuff.
Texas A&M is weird, and I would have believed.
Well,
you.
that's true. Yeah, that's you just said Texas is weird. That would have been accurate.
Amen.
6'5", 267, athleticism score of 84. Explosive first step, backside close. So for you back shot lovers, it's good closing speed on that. And then
All right.
Hutch
Yes.
was like, what have I walked into?
Why
has
did
great
I mean, I also
pocket
expect no
collapse.
less from Joe. It's okay.
Guys,
Expect no
here's
less.
what I'm looking at. He has energy and effort and is great on the backside. And what more can you ask of a guy, really? Right? What more can you
I was
ask?
gonna say it's a positive review.
Hutch, look at my little fucking ticker underneath my name.
Oh, I didn't even look at your ticker.
Lasts
this time.
longer than the pick clock. Like what? I set the tone 2 hours ago.
Oh man, I love it here.
We're 2 hours into this bullshit. If there's a sex joke to be made, I'm gonna make it.
I mean, it seems like Vince isn't a big fan of the pick, but with the interior defensive line guys going, it seemed like edge or corner was the way the Bengals were going to need to go here.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's
interesting.
something on defense.
it's interesting that we talked about the quarterbacks, and then on the other side, the corners like falling as well.
See, and this is what I'm with Vince on this one. Like, you had this experiment with Miles Murphy. Like, you took the guy that had the traits, the production was kind of and he hasn't done anything. This is Shamar Stewart for me. Like, I don't see, if you can't produce in college, especially in the SEC, and it's not like some stud was in front of you, like the guys at Georgia. That's where I don't see the translation.
It's a huge red flag. The lack of production on really any prospect, any position is always a huge red flag, especially like you said, not a huge school or there's not a stud in front of you. It's just always something that just brings up a whole huge red flag at you.
But if you're comparing him to Green, like Green's got multiple sexual assault allegations. That shit matters.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If he starts falling out, the Harrison kid's got credible rape allegations against him. Like, nobody's talking about that, but it exists. Like, these teams know about it. So when these guys start falling down, it shouldn't be surprising.
Yep.
NFL teams need to take note of the WNBA teams that didn't draft Sedona Prince, even though she was like a top 2 pick. And she went undrafted and is currently unsigned. So
He has all those allegations. So.
literally, it's very interesting to see what'll happen there. Shamar Stewart off the board. Seattle Seahawks next
Pick
team.
is in. Pick is in for Seattle.
The pick
Not
is
trading.
in
Wow.
for Seattle.
You know, I thought with how long the clock went, I thought there might have been some trade
You
conversation.
would think. The real question is, does anybody like Shedeur Sanders? Because at some point, these phones got to start ringing.
I don't know, man.
If he doesn't go to Pittsburgh, then it's alarming.
Yeah.
If he doesn't go to
I would agree
Pittsburgh,
with
yeah, it's a five alarm fire.
5-alarm
at that
fire.
point. So yeah,
I'm wondering if
Especially
the Giants
since
or
most of the
Browns-
DTs have gone, and that was where Pittsburgh
that
probably
would have
gonna
been
go
their
if they
need
don't
to
go
replace.
TD.
Yeah.
Cam Hayward.
Yes.
I'm wondering if the Giants or Browns will
Trade
leave
up
out
right now.
Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
Or
I mean,
if
the
he's-
Browns-
Browns got draft capital now.
I'll say that the
Browns
Browns
have
did just
Browns
get
have
draft
that
capital.
top
They do.
second round draft capital now. So
They do. And the thing is, too, because there's been a lot of trade rumors already around pick 20 for Denver to trade down. I think it's because a lot of teams are trying to jump Pittsburgh and be like, let's just pick right in front of Pittsburgh and sneak that quarterback
all
in.
the rumors are that Denver wants a running back, but they're also not going to be dumb about it, that they understand how much running back talent there is in this draft. If they walk away with one of the Browns' second round picks and something else for this trade, or both of the Browns' second round picks, that's a big win for Denver, because you're going to get one of these running backs plus capital. So
Absolutely.
Pick is in for the Seattle Seahawks. They have taken offensive lineman Gray Zabel.
Yeah.
There it
Boom.
is.
North Dakota State, baby.
Mhm.
D1 AA powerhouse. Go Bison.
Seattle
He's
finally
gonna be
gets
the
the ball
most
line.
versatile lineman in this draft.
So this is easily the most picks I've gotten correct in an NFL
Me
draft.
too.
Yeah.
This is easily the nastiest name for a white offensive lineman ever known. So, sorry. 6'5", almost 6'6", 312 pounds, waiting for his athleticism score.
90.
You're damn right it's 90. Yeah. You're damn right, white boy
guy
left
from
tackle.
NDSU.
Yeah. Dude, you're damn right white boy's rocking a 90 and Travis Hunter's rocking a fucking 78. Yeah. Go one-on-one against Gray Zabel, all right? I dare you.
All right, I'll be back.
It's first team all MVFC. The fuck does that mean? I don't know what that means, but very athletic. Started all 16 games at left tackle in 2024, and they won the FCS National Championship, as they seem to have been doing for centuries, it feels like at this point. But he is very versatile, can play all across the offensive line.
Yeah, it kind of feels like what was it, Graham Barton last year from Duke that the Bucks picked. Like he played guard tackle in college, a little bit of center. Bucks ended up playing him at center, I believe. Like Zabel really kind of has that same.
Timeout.
What's up, Jeff?
Timeout. They showed the live video of him taking the call. There's an active game of Catan being played.
Hell yes. All right.
My Dude, okay, that's hilarious. I'm seeing that right now as well.
Like literally, the box is up and it's like
up.
It's like an advertisement for Catan, and there's an active game happening of Catan.
Dude, that's hilarious.
Why?
Yeah, who sets the box up like that?
I'm not kidding you. They set the box up like literally.
I see it now. Yep.
Like, hi guys, I'm eating famous Amos cookies. Like, it was set up like this to the side of him, taking the phone call. I was
like, little table right there.
Yeah, I was like, bro, do you have a deal with Catan? Like, are you NIL? Like, what is
the
this?
The first board game NIL deal.
Catan. How much you want to bet Catan sales skyrocket here in the next 24 hours? Why is that the whitest dude from North Dakota to take a phone call and play Catan?
He's playing Settlers of Catan on the night of the NFL draft.
The night of the NFL draft.
I didn't know that Joe Thomas going fishing with his pops could be topped until tonight. So.
That's amazing.
Unbelievable.
I love it.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the clock. Where do we think we're going here, guys?
I think Malachi Starks is a huge consideration for them here. They need some secondary badly.
Yeah, I was going to say Campbell seems to be the guy that gets the most.
Campbell, but I think corner with Jahdae Barron, who can play
Barron
all over
as
the
well.
place
Yeah,
that we brought up because
this is a
secondary.
Oh my god!
Well, this is Josh. This is what I talked about when we did our Club Fantasy mock. I had Tampa Bay, and when we got to this point, every player I had thought about taking for Tampa Bay was available, so I traded back. So I think that's another major possibility here.
Yeah, they've already 5 minutes through clock, and there's no pick yet.
Yeah. But if
and I remember, I mean, obviously the trade that Houston made early on to kind of get those extra late round picks, like this could be a scenario where if they like one of these offensive linemen, one of the guards, Jackson.
Wow, like Simmons is probably the only like first round offensive tackle left.
Yep. Well, and I know Kansas City, they could probably use a tackle as well.
Then the Oregon kid, what's his Connerly?
Josh Connerly.
Simmons would have been there when Stroud was there, right? So I wondered if there was a connection there. That's why I mocked it. So
yeah, every mock draft I did a few of them. Everyone I had Simmons in Houston.
There you go.
I think that was my lock to me.
I said had all one of my mock drafts. I also did that. So.
All one.
I don't know these guys. So again,
I learned about them over the last 48 hours.
I don't care until they're in an NFL uniform. Yeah. I just don't care. And even then, I probably don't even care about half the guys here. So very interested to see what Tampa does here. If they go, they need to go in the secondary. This actually isn't even a question. They need a corner.
Mm-hmm.
They
need a corner, but you also have Levante David getting towards the end of his line, and it may be time to replace him.
That man is going to play until he disintegrates on the field. Okay?
which may be in 2025.
Yeah, Levante David will die with honor on an NFL football field wearing a Tampa Bay Buccaneers uniform. Yeah, Ideally,
they just need to name the field after him at that point.
Yeah.
Right.
Levante David's going to go out by an accidental cannonball hitting him in the head on the field.
Why did we load this thing?
Yeah, like someone's accidentally going to load a cannonball, and it's locked on, target locked to number 54 to be like, and he's just going to fucking salute. Like he stands at midfield, salutes, and the cannonball hits him, and he disintegrates.
I love how we're all talking defense.
They did not go defense.
Nope.
O-line?
They didn't go O-line.
Oh,
Who did they take?
They went
receiver?
wow.
Emeka Egbuka,
Whoa!
wide receiver.
Pick.
So Jalen
you've got Chris
McMillan.
Godwin, Jalen McMillan, and Ibuka.
Oof.
How many
And
slots
Evan
do you
Mike
have
Evans.
on your line? I mean, how many hash marks are there?
Who are you? Yeah, who are you? Who are you cutting? Are you going to run a 4-receiver set every fucking play?
That's
Oh man.
So-
Yeah,
so
give me the
wow.
10 personnel. Let's go.
10 personnel.
So Cade Otton's irrelevant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
K-Dot, and so is McMillan.
Yeah.
McMillan's gone at this point too.
Yep. That killed.
Is McMillan the
This
guy
feels
they
like
move outside?
insurance for Godwin. That's what this feels like, even though they just re-signed him to a 3-year deal at $20 million per.
Does this?
Because
Could
he's
this
coming off
also
that broken
feel like?
ankle, but I feel like the contract would say that he's healthy off that ankle now, or that he's going to be. But this pick suggests otherwise. It's kind of like it kind of feels somewhat similar to when the Falcons signed Kirk Cousins off that Achilles tear, and then all of a sudden they draft Michael Penix as insurance, and then one of those things were the right move.
Or,
Kinda
and
feels
I'm
like
sure
Evans
this
is
is
that
probably
way.
where you're going, Joe. Mike
Evans
Evans
in the
is
last year.
Yes, Mike Evans last
33
year.
years
Yeah,
old or whatever.
Evans
it is,
last year of
so-
his deal. He's probably done after the season.
that's also a good point.
Yeah.
But what are you going to
Mentor
run 3
Ibuka.
slots? It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but no,
Well,
this is a
3
This is
slots
interesting.
make an X.
No, this feels this feels similar to a Jackson Smith and Jigba draft. You're just you take him, you put him there. A Roma Doomsday.
I mean, he very well may be the best player available, but I didn't want the Packers to take him because he's redundant with Jaden Reed, and now he's double redundant for them. This is bizarre.
Yeah.
Listen, if you draft an Ohio State wide receiver, I'm not going to fault you for it.
No,
They're
they're great.
Just fucking.
no, I
turn
love
them on.
Ibuka. He like I said, he could be the best player available at this point. That wouldn't shock
Ohio
me at
State
all,
wide
but-
receivers made Justin Fields a top 10 NFL draft pick.
Yeah,
That's all.
As the crowd goes silent.
I rest my case. I rest my case. The Bucs offense now includes Baker Mayfield, Bucky Irving, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Emeka Egbuka, Jalen McMillan, and Cade Otton.
Baker
That's like a
Mayfield
fun
to
offense.
to the moon, baby.
Yeah.
I, was
I mean,
gonna say,
that's-
this is massive for Baker.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ohio State
the
wide
defense
receivers,
still
in the
sucks.
selected in the last 4 NFL drafts in the first round, Olave, Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison, and now Emeka Egbuka. There was one more in there I missed. Insane.
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Jack Smith the Jig, but thank you. Go back to Terry McLaurin, like literally wide receiver you right now. And then this kid, Jeremiah Smith, that's going to come out in 2 years. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely unbelievable.
Is
This
Baker
now puts
QB6 in redraft? Is he ahead of Mahomes?
This moved him to 8 for me, but again very early on. But yes, he's probably that high.
I mean,
He's in
at
that
this point,
conversation, yeah.
Baker kind of becomes the most valuable fantasy player in this Bucs offense.
100%.
Yeah,
The wide receivers, I feel like, are going to kind of cannibalize themselves.
Yeah.
Well, you could put Bucky up there too. I mean, with all the wide
Yeah,
receivers-
this doesn't hurt Bucky at all.
Oh, it doesn't.
No,
No, it
this
doesn't
doesn't,
hurt
I agree.
Bucky. No, it doesn't hurt Bucky.
But
I'm saying
Rashaad
most
White's still
valuable.
there, and as much as I
No,
hate him, they
Hutch.
love
I
using
wasn't
him.
disagreeing with you. I was actually where they said Baker. You said you could put Bucky. I agree completely. Like this.
Oh, yeah.
This is great for Bucky Irving.
Like, from a best ball perspective, he's literally got like 6 stack partners now.
Oh,
he's the easiest guy to stack.
Yeah,
He's gonna be wildly
Baker
popular in
Mayfield
best ball.
will be on every best ball team I draft at this point. So-
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. 100%.
I bet he
81
goes ahead of-
catches
I
for
bet he
over
starts going
1,000
ahead of
yards.
Mahomes.
I don't think you're wrong there.
Can we just sit here and say Patrick Mahomes is just like not a good fantasy quarterback? Can we just admit that? The last 2 seasons he's been bad. Like,
Exactly.
just straight up has been bad. So
It's all Matt Nagy's fault. That's what I'm going to blame.
I mean, I won't
I do
disagree
think
on
he's
that.
overrated in best ball. I think he's going way too high right now.
I don't know where he's going in best ball, but wherever it is, it's probably too
Probably
high.
I
QB
didn't say-
six.
He-
QB6,
He's
right?
QB6.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's too high.
Yeah.
He's behind Burrow as QB6.
It's too high.
was a steep drop off to QB6 if that's the case from Joe.
It
Burrow.
is a big, like Burrow goes like pick 50, something like that, and Mahomes does go to like pick 80. So there's a big gap.
There is a big drop off. Okay. All right. Denver
like, Baker's right
officially
behind him.
Denver officially entering the 20s here for draft
Do we
picks.
think that Hampton is the pick?
He's falling apart.
You think Henderson?
I have Henderson as my RB2 as well. I think that he's a better player.
I
than Murray
love
Hampton.
Henderson.
Henderson's my guy, man.
Yeah, I think it's Henderson.
It would fit Sean Payton's like build for running back a little bit more, like what we saw with Alvin Kamara in New Orleans. That's slightly smaller but elite pass catching, explosive player. That screams Sean Payton to me. I feel like he'd be a better fit in this offense than Murray Hampton would be. But Murray Hampton's incredibly talented, and it feels like he bought his ticket to the first round when he had that elite combine. Yeah. We'll see. Henderson goes RB2. I will lose my mind, though. I'd be very happy with that.
I mean, did Sean Payton ever go running back this early? Was he ever like
Mark Ingram?
Yeah, Ingram.
Yeah, Ingram was the first round pick.
Okay.
Yeah.
So right
they traded back. Like they traded it into the back
20s?
end of the first round to get him. No, Ingram was 29. I thought.
Was he? Yeah,
he was.
29.
I remember that he was later, but now you're looking. I don't know. We talk about depth in this running back room. He got Kamara in the 5th round. Like I don't know if he's gonna
third. Yeah.
Third. I don't know why I thought he was a 5th. Anyways, you could. I'm not saying you can find Alvin Kamara in the 3rd round this year, but we've said you can find running backs that could start for you day 1 in
Ingram
round
was 28th overall.
So I just feel like there's maybe better things that they can go for here. Like how much do you love Riley Green?
118 left on Denver's clock, and they still haven't picked.
Like if that's what you want, these guys are popular. Like, what's going to be left in the 2nd round when you pick again? Because Henderson's going to go, Hampton's going to go, Judkins is going to go. I mean, you're probably looking like Scatabo at that point,
or Jones Hampton, Devin Neal.
Yeah, I mean, I like Devin Neal a lot, but I mean, is that the guy you want to end up with when you? Because
the thing is, Denver has nobody.
Williams.
Because Denver has literally nobody. It's Audric Estime and Jaleel McLaughlin. That is it. Like you need a guy.
The running back room's horrible.
You need someone that's going to completely take over. You can't add a complementary piece at this point. Like Denver needs to have somebody that's ready to take the full-time role.
Mm-hmm.
And
pick
that
is in for Denver.
Pick. There you go.
All right, they're picking. So still officially waiting on word of what that pick is. We'll go back to our friend Faith asked Will Campbell about Cajun food. Her day is officially complete. So
nice. Repping women fantasy football at the draft.
Yeah, we love Will Campbell because obviously he's a New England Patriot now. Denver Broncos draft room in Inglewood, Colorado. Sean Payton, dressed to the nines, just looking like a dad at first communion. That's what he's giving right now. Like a dad at first communion. The Denver Broncos. I'm going to pat myself on the back because I called this saying that Riley Green's a fucking bum. They have selected Jahdae Barron out of Texas. Just give yourself 2 lockdown corners. Why not?
I mean, it just goes to show that with a deep RB class, like, I don't really think these guys are going to...
Who's going to get you closer to being the Chiefs? Omarion Hampton or another lockdown corner?
Yeah, Jahdae Barron. You need somebody that can cover, plain and simple.
Yeah.
And can't he play?
I'm starting to wonder what the Packers are going to do because that's who I kind of had teed up at this point. I thought they were going to do something big in this draft. I don't know what they're going to do now. They may trade back.
Of course, now here comes the fun part. The Steelers are on the clock.
This is the only pick that matters.
Quarterback.
This is the
They're
pick
gonna
that
take somebody. They're good. Either Jack Starr.
And then
you are correct.
And then we get to hear is it Dart versus Sanders. So
if Jackson Dart goes before Shedeur Sanders, I mean the Twitter machine might explode.
Yeah.
Well,
Pittsburgh
according
would deserve what they get.
Or if Shedeur doesn't even go.
Bleacher Report, he's sources are telling him that the Giants have been calling to get back into the first round, presumably to go get Jackson Dart. One of these quarterbacks.
I'll be honest, I have Dart ranked above Sanders, so I wouldn't hate the Sanders above I mean, I wouldn't hate Dart above Sanders as a pick.
From a fantasy perspective or real life NFL perspective?
Both.
Really?
I like Dart more, yeah.
I can see it from a fantasy perspective.
I was saying,
I don't see it
fantasy
from
with
an
the
NFL.
running. Yeah, fantasy with the
Shador is
running
the
is
best arm in this
significant.
draft. Shador is the best arm talent in this draft.
I think Shador's the best quarterback in this
much
draft.
else. But Jahdae Barron's comp, Cooper DeJean. Skin
shit.
tone slightly different, but Cooper DeJean.
Derrick Henry better watch out.
It's a weird pick for Denver though, because their secondary is already fucking elite.
Yeah, it is.
exactly.
They don't have a good cornerback.
Give
They
them
don't
like
have
a
a
weapon, man. Like
they
either
don't have a
running back
good
or
guy
receiver,
opposite
somebody.
Pat Surtain. What are the things you can't have enough of in the NFL? Receivers,
Rushers and corners.
edge rushers, corners. Good corners. There's not a lot of good corners in the NFL.
Well, especially
if
when
you-
you're
No, I
in that
agree with
division going up against those quarterbacks. So,
Yes. Like that is a outside of the Raiders at this point.
well, yeah.
That's a division where you have two of the top 8 quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like that you
Yeah, but who do you have to cover in that division? Rashi Rice and
There's that
McConkey?
too. Yeah, nobody
And
has
that's-
any receivers.
that's
Ladd
another I mean
McConkey.
that is a great point is there's no
elite receivers in that division.
there's no double elite receivers because right you have Ladd McConkey,
Right.
you have Rashee Rice, but yeah, there's no double elite receivers. But
Maybe
I'm
he
not
just-
mad.
Well, at that
Like,
point,
even
it
those
just
guys are slot
becomes-
guys.
You know, for everybody that you're trying to move around to get off of the number one guy, now it becomes more difficult because, you're going to get him off Patrick Surtain? All right, now Jahdae Barron's going to walk
And we
him down.
talked about that last year that Surtain didn't travel, if I remember correctly. to
No,
where now
he's
doesn't
not
have
a
to,
traveling corner.
so.
I mean, they may be just trying to replicate what Philly did last year with Mitchell and DeJean, which was pretty fucking good, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Again, if you can get 2 lockdown guys on the outside, I mean that automatically vaults your team into relevancy. So 5 minutes left here for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They are on the phone with someone. So there's a guy I don't know the face of. Mike Tomlin is not on the phone. Someone's on the phone right now, whether that be a trade call. He is smiling, so I imagine this is him talking to a draft pick. They are showing Shador Sanders. He is not on a phone.
Oh,
God.
The pick is in for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Jackson Dart. Oh, wait, nope.
I don't believe.
It's not
This
even on
is-
offense.
what?
I don't believe it's Shador.
It's not on offense.
It's
Sounds like-
not offense.
Sounds like Hutch knows who it is.
I got the notification.
All right, Josh,
It's
drop
not
it in
loading
and
for me. Hang on. Calm down.
All right, you want me to
Yes.
confirm it?
this fucking guy.
No, I got to put it in the.
Yeah, it's
This
there it
ding
is.
dong.
I got it.
Wow. Okay. So the quarterbacks on the roster right now for the Pittsburgh Steelers are Mason Rudolph and Skylar Thompson.
yeah, boy.
Elite.
And they are going with the Cam Hayward replacement,
What?
Derek Harmon
Derek
out
Harmon.
of Oregon.
Oh, I had him up and down my draft board during this entire process.
What I think, I'm going to throw a little conspiracy theory out real quick. I think the reason that we've seen I think potentially one of the reasons that we've seen Rodgers so hesitant to sign with Pittsburgh is because I don't know if I would guess that he doesn't want to be a bridge quarterback to a rookie. And I feel like he's been so hesitant.
So if they don't take anybody,
If they don't take anybody, Rodgers is going to be like, "Oh, I'll join you guys. Then I'll be the starter. But if you take somebody, then I'm out."
that's
Well,
interesting.
now at this point, you're truly getting a developmental guy, which we've talked about. Most of these guys, if not all of them, are developmental guys that shouldn't be starting right away. So,
Occam's razor would suggest that Rodgers is just an asshole, but
well,
yeah, I was going to
that.
say. I don't know if the
Let's-
Steelers even
well,
want him.
let's not think too deep.
all,
into
all
this.
the Kirk Cousins
and Pittsburgh
fires.
doesn't have a second round pick.
Yeah,
so,
all the Kirk Cousins fires relit this morning as well too, though. So
Yeah,
So this
Kirk
is-
Cousins
Yeah,
as well,
I think
yeah.
Cousins ends up there.
It's either
this,
Cousins or Rodgers, one of them.
I mean, we talked about if Jalen Milroe falls that far.
well, and they love Milroe. Like I said, I brought that up on yesterday's show. Pittsburgh has been tied to Milroe, and
Yeah, decent amount.
then there's the interesting fact that going back to the Philadelphia Eagles conundrum if you go and get Kirk Cousins or Aaron Rodgers, you can't run the same offense with Kirk Cousins or Aaron Rodgers that you can with Jalen Milroe. So
yeah, I think Milroe.
But Milroe is so far away. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a 2-year plus project.
I mean,
it's project, but man, he's got some serious potential, dude. You get him in the right system, he's developing a couple behind.
He's all potential. He does
I'm
not
just saying.
have NFL caliber skills. Right now.
I agree, but Anthony Richardson is a very similar player, and he's been in the league for 2 years, and he's still a project.
Yeah, well, should have been the 5th overall pick.
He was also thrown to the wolves pretty much right away, though. Obviously, he got injured, and then you had the whole offseason. But I don't think he's that good. But
like I said,
he only had 5 college games or something.
Richardson is fun for fantasy, but watching that kid play, I mean, watching his arm is
disastrous.
The most entertaining thing to watch on Sunday, but you have no idea where that ball is going. So
no, you do. It's either in a defender's hands or on the ground,
or the crowd
in the fans. I'm telling you,
he has no touch whatsoever.
Indoor football fans would love him because it would catch 700 passes.
Yeah.
Like we told the Colts, hey, if AR doesn't work out, come on up. He can play in Fishers for the freight.
We'll take him.
Play in the indoor league for $250 a game. Chargers are on the clock here. A lot of people had one of the tight ends potentially falling to them, Colson Loveland or Tyler Warren.
But
that did not happen.
No,
just take Harold Fanin. Get the best one in the draft,
dude. Yeah, I love it, yo, Ryan.
Harold Fanin at 20. Did anybody have him above the 3rd round?
No, I'm not mocking it. I just know my man had 1,600 yards last year.
Yeah,
I saw it, Hutch, when I was doing the search for our thread this morning. I saw you had a bunch of tweets hyping.
I have a lot of tweets about Harold Fanin. I'm in love with Harold Fanin. He is probably my guy at this class right now.
I don't watch college football. I'm a late discoverer of Fanin, but
as well, yeah, me as well.
So every year when my friend and I start a dynasty against each other in NCAA, we have traditionally started with Bowling Green and Miami of Ohio. So I'm Bowling Green, and I'm like, this fucking tight end is amazing. So, so even before the season, I was like, this kid is so good. And then he does what he does this year. So I've been so on board with this kid.
Yeah, as a sophomore, I mean, he put up more receiving yards than Loveland had as a junior.
Wow.
Or Mason Taylor or Terrence Ferguson. I mean, he had 600 plus yards as a sophomore. I mean, he was very talented, and then all of a sudden, it took it to a whole new level.
Yeah.
And I hate the small school argument too, because he put up 137, 145 yards on nearly 20 catches against Penn State and Texas A&M, 2 ranked schools last year. Like when he got the opportunity, he was dominant. Like he's just such a good player. I really hope he doesn't fall day 3. I'd really hope to see day 2.
If he could get round 2 draft capital, I will be ecstatic. I will be wasting so many rookie drafts.
Yeah, my pants will be off, and all the rookie picks will be going to Harold.
Clutch will not last longer than the pick clock.
I will not. If Harold Fanin Jr. goes in the 2nd round, I will not.
Thankfully, I will not have to be enticed because I have Brock Bowers in my one lone dynasty league.
You're done. You're done drafting tight end.
I'm done. I'm done touching the tight end position for about.
I take tight ends all the time because the moment they have a top 12 week, I can get the next round up. In for future pick. Like people will throw money.
But Josh, when your dynasty team is bad, you can't you have to actually draft.
Well, to Josh's point though. This is one of my favorite stories for dynasty. I had Travis Kelce in every dynasty, but I told everyone who would listen, I'm like, Trey McBride should not be falling to the 3rd and 4th round in these dynasty drafts. What is wrong with people? So I had Kelce and McBride in so many drafts, and it has worked out so well for me now. So the torch was passed.
I've got McBride on a lot of dynasty teams as well. I couldn't believe his price. I mean, it was unbelievable. He had an 1,100 yards season in college, and everyone was drafting him like the late 2nd.
Tight end off the board. We liked him before. Obviously.
Pick.
Yep.
It was just like I didn't even understand it. I was like so confused. I was like, okay, if you want to give me a 3rd round Trey McBride, I'll take it all.
Showing the Chargers draft room. Someone's on the phone. Might be the owner. I have no idea.
There's less than 3 minutes left on that clock. They still have not gotten their pick, so there's
so
still.
This has either got to be Will Johnson, the Michigan kid, or do they take Matthew Golden?
They could take a receiver here, yeah.
I mean, Golden's small, but he's not a slot.
Yeah, that's
they have like out. I mean, they don't have a ton of size. Like, I mean, Quentin Johnston, okay, but
size with brick.
They also don't have a ton of speed either.
True,
guys. No. Can we put some fucking respect on Ladd McConkey's 4.39 40, please?
No, Ladd McConkey.
I'm saying outside of him though.
Ladd McConkey's
that like you don't have, outside of him, there's not much else speed on that offense to really take pressure off. Like he can't. You need speed to get people away from Ladd McConkey, so Ladd McConkey can still continue to progress in getting better. Like even though he was good last year.
You've also got a quarterback with a huge arm who's kind of
just. But that's the other side of it. Like you need burners that can get
dinking and dunking for 2 years.
150 left on that clock for LA.
Yeah,
it seems like they're working a trade.
Yeah, it feels like. I wonder if someone's trying to jump up and take one of these quarterbacks. But I feel like they would have
taken it away from.
Yeah, you're not really taking it.
Yeah, at this point,
you're not
the only person you're taking it away from. You're losing capital.
Somebody else trading up.
You're trying to jump Cleveland, right? Like
Cleveland or the Giants.
You're probably just
trying to beat somebody else who's trying to jump up.
Essentially, it's probably Cleveland and the Giants fighting each other right now. So
that's probably what it is. That's why there might be aggressiveness.
I think what you're going to see is one of them comes in at 32 and takes their guy for that 5th-year option.
I won't even be surprised if we see it happen with both of them for the 5th-year option. It just depending on how much.
Oh yeah.
Philadelphia and
45 seconds left and counting.
Well, and Minnesota's going to be a trade-up spot too because they have no picks. So
they need it desperately.
Try to get ahead of the Minnesota spot.
Holy crap! Yeah. 40 seconds left.
I think they're calling in the pick right now. They're showing 1:33 on the draft clock in the draft room for the Chargers. And it's 27. They have to be calling in the pick right now. There's no way they're not
gonna pick.
I mean, there could be a chance that we're at 15 seconds here. So there's a chance that this is the first time since the Vikings that they don't get their pick in time.
Like 2012 was it?
Yeah.
No, that was the Bryant McKinney.
Right now the draft clock has run out for the Chargers on
pick is in
right here.
Oh, okay, thank God.
I was about to say
under the deadline.
According to the clock right there, the time did run out, but the pick is officially in. I will wait for Josh to throw it in our little ticker when he gets it. We'll wait to see what Roger Goodell says, but that was an under the gun pick.
Yeah, if you don't love one of these corners, this draft just did not work out well for the Chargers. So,
and you have to imagine that, Will Johnson.
I still think running back makes sense for them, even though they do have Najee. Like,
I was kind of thinking the same thing. If you get a guy who's vastly different than Najee with good speed, so
I think you can get that in round 3, though. I think you can get someone that complements Najee well later in the draft. I feel like that'd be a very high investment to complement.
You don't need him.
Well, go get Bashal Tootin, and you get the exact opposit of Najee. So.
Exactly. If you get him round 4,
Hampton's the same guy.
Yeah,
they need an edge rusher.
Is that what they did?
No, but what I'm saying is they need an edge rusher. Like Mike Green's there.
I mean, Mike Green should have been the pick a couple picks ago. So
I know, but we have those cases against him that might.
I keep forgetting that. Yep.
Yeah. I honestly didn't realize that until a day ago. I just seen it, and I was like, "Oh, that's bad."
Yeah.
I was mocking him relatively highly, and I was like, "Oh, well, that kind of ruins that. I don't think I can mock him that high anymore because there's no way that's going to be ignored."
Chargers taking their sweet fucking time here.
They are, yeah. They're taking their time.
Goodell's waiting for the facts to come in.
Yeah, right.
They sent the pick into New York City.
I've seen a couple people tweet it, but not.
We have it officially from Adam Schefter. The Chargers have selected.
All right, yeah, I think
North Carolina's running back. Omarion.
Wow.
So they went running back.
That's interesting, man.
I mean, he's Najee Harris. That's what we talked about on the RB show.
Same guy.
Yeah,
Just a faster version of him.
it
A
doesn't.
better version, but the same guy.
I mean, you sign Najee to a pretty solid contract, and then
Yeah, but it's a 1 year deal. It's 1 year,
It is a 1 year
$5.5
deal,
million. Like
but-
it's not anything crazy. Like
yeah.
that's the kind of deal where when a team drafts a running back, that lead back is getting replaced in 10 games.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I like, is he still a top 3 pick in dynasty rookie drafts?
And that's a really good offensive line he's gonna be running behind.
And Jim Harbaugh
But
and
they-
Greg Roman, they love to run. They know they love to.
Yeah,
they
with
love
a
to
very
run the
good-
football.
It just kind of feels like
Very
it's
good
not going to
quarterback.
be that year 1 impact that a lot of people thought with Amari and Hampton.
Yeah, it's probably going to be later.
And that always plays into it.
I can tell you if he's there for me, I'm probably going to take him because I need a fucking running back. But it's a good spot. It's a run first team. Like they want
I
to
agree.
run the football.
Yeah.
So while it
No,
may
overall,
not be
I think it is absolutely. But I'm
It's a
thinking,
smash for him. For
yeah,
Hampton
I'm just
long-term,
thinking
but
like,
this year-
because again, this happens all the time. You see guys in the second, third round that end up in better spots in terms of like instant production for this coming year,
Bucky Irving.
where they end up jumping the guy that maybe has the better long-term spot, but not the immediate production.
Well, this, I obviously I'm not going to compare the two players because they're vastly different and the draft capital is vastly different. But this is Blake Corum all over again. Blake Corum was being comped to Kyron Williams and then goes to the Rams. This is that again.
except for the
and-
first round pick.
I say except the draft capital, so
Yeah.
that makes it very different. Don't get me wrong, but it's interesting.
I feel like they could have done like a compliment in the third round or maybe even the fourth round. Someone that
That's literally what
helped
you were
out-
saying right
helped
before the
out-
pick came in. So.
yeah, helps out Najee, and just you can run those two, and then if you really don't like what Najee does, you can move on and draft somebody next year or find somebody in free agency. But signing Najee to a solid contract and then drafting a first round running back as well, it's just because they have other needs too. They have plenty of team needs to fill besides running
Yeah,
back.
but I mean, look at who's the coach and look at who's the play caller. Like this is a run first offense.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter
Yeah.
that Justin Herbert's throwing the football.
100%.
You know,
I'm good with it.
I'm just kind of going through the other running backs that are behind Omari and Hampton, right? Like you've got Travion Henderson, you've got Quinshon Judkins, Caleb Johnson. Like if one of let's say Quinshon Judkins lands in Cleveland, because now they've got 2 second-round picks, they can grab their quarterback and they can get a running back. Now you've got a guy that is essentially a lead guy. He's splitting time with Jerome Ford. That's not going to be a huge threat, in my opinion.
No.
Do one of them end up getting that, rookie draft hype where they end up getting picked above Amari and Hampton in your eyes?
No, I would still pick him.
I don't think they should,
No,
because I don't
not.
think Judkins is really that much better than Hampton.
If Henderson could, if he ends up in the right spot, because
If Henderson goes to Kansas City, I mean, Henderson was my RB2 anyway.
well, Henderson to
yeah.
Kansas City, Henderson to Cleveland. I mean, like
Washington. How about Washington?
Yeah.
Smash.
it's very crowded at least for year one. So, but I mean, I guess that is just they'll probably just let Eckler go.
I
at
don't
that
think
point.
Brian
Right.
Robinson is
No.
all that much of a threat to.
Robinson.
No.
No, that's fair. If they let Eckler go and Robinson just takes a backseat, Washington's a fucking smash.
But if
So,
they spend a first round pick on a running back, which they would have to do to get someone like that,
that's fair
then
too. Yeah, then they're clearly turning
him as
the
their
keys
starter.
over.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a
Yeah.
really good point. And that's probably a similar point as to what we should be taking with Amari and Hampton and the Chargers right now.
Yeah, he's a first round pick. Like that kind of investment as a running back is not something you see as often anymore. Like we haven't seen 3 running backs in the first round for almost a decade. Like it just doesn't really.
No, it's a really good point. It's easy to sit here and be like, the landing spot isn't ideal. There's Najee Harris. There's this, but there's also everything you
draft
guys
capital.
have said. It's a run first offense and first round draft capital. So
And we know the offense could be good. Jim Harbaugh, Greg Roman, they run a great system. They know how to score points and they know how to run the football and build a great offensive line. Like Najee's good, but he's replaceable. And Hampton is a better talent. He will eventually beat him. And once he does, it's over. And Najee's on a 1-year deal. He'll probably be let go after the season, if assuming Hampton looks the way we expect him to. Like
From Jordan
And it
Schultz,
could be like
Eagles
JT.
discussing moving up with the Packers.
Oh, It could be like Jonathan Taylor, where you just the coach stubbornly puts the other guy out there first, and then the talent just becomes so obvious that you can't keep him on the bench.
What was that guy's
I wouldn't
name?
be surprised if that.
Oh,
what was the guy ahead of JT?
I don't even remember.
Oh my
Marlon
god,
Mack.
Marlon fucking Mack. Yes.
There was another guy. There was another guy too.
I remember Marlon Mack was the one I was trying to put the name to. Josh is absolutely right.
I mean, they coupled it with Naheem Hines as well, but it was mostly Marlon Mack.
Yeah.
Marlon Mack.
Sweet. We have some news for the defense side of the football. Michigan cornerback Will Johnson has a knee issue that has concerned some NFL teams.
Yeah.
And explains why he's dipping right now.
Well, he only played 6 games last year because of that injury.
Yeah. Who brought that up
but
in our
still there.
Yeah. Who brought that up in our chat that he heard that Johnson was falling because teams were terrified of him right now. So
Packers 156 still have not picked. So yeah.
They're shaking hands.
Yep.
Okay.
But they're shaking hands to me makes it feel like it's a trade.
Feels
I
like
know
a trade.
way too much into this,
and who threw out the rumor that the Eagles are calling right now?
Yeah, Jordan Schultz tweeted that.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Interesting. Jordan Wilkins. That's what I was trying to think of.
Oh, yeah.
He's getting snaps ahead of JT in 2020.
That. There you go.
That's right.
That was
Josh, who do you think we'll get if we trade up here? Do you think it's Campbell?
Mike Green?
It might be Malachi Starks. I think they might want to get
what Georgia players available.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I think that because they need to get in front of Baltimore for Starks.
Yeah.
And I don't see them trading up for a linebacker.
You probably have to get ahead of Minnesota too, to be honest.
Pick is in.
Minnesota
Packers pick is in.
Safety as well.
The pick is in.
So
no trade. Be tough for
see.
Green Bay to trade the pick when it's
I got the pick
in Green Bay.
I've got it.
Josh, I will wait for your
Yeah, I see it. They didn't trade.
Ticker in here.
This
Yep.
is
They are staying put. In the
You'll
home
love this,
faithful, cheering on the Go Pack Go. Joel.
Oh no. I feel bad for Joel. I don't know who it is yet though.
The Green Bay Packers have ended their 23-year drought of drafting first-round wide receivers.
Yeah.
And have selected wide receiver Matthew Golden out of the University of Texas.
What do you guys think of Matthew Golden? I want to hear.
I don't like
Joel
it.
hates him.
Go in, Joel.
I don't like it.
I don't like him. I don't like him either. I don't love Matthew Golden.
I don't think he has pad speed. He doesn't play fast.
He's my. He looks like when I watched him play, he looked like a 4.4 guy to me. He did not look like the 4.29 speed I saw.
Let's be clear. 4.4 is fast.
It's fast. It's fast.
Clear.
But it's not the game-changing speed that people saw at the combine. It's not that level.
I don't like. He was still a tenth of a second behind Xavier Worthy. It's not like he was that fast. He was just the fastest guy this year.
I don't know. Sub 4.3.
I think we're discounting a 4.3 speed. I think we're really just
very fast. Yeah.
But the problem is it's just a Smurf wide receiver room. They need some size. They don't need a 5'9" guy.
I was gonna say, like, whose spot is he taking here?
Nobody's.
I mean, they need a deep threat. Without Watson, they need someone to take the top off the offense and create some space for Wicks and Jaden Reed.
Yeah, but that's pointless because Wicks can't catch the damn football. So
I agree.
You know,
this is why I wanted McMillan so bad.
Is like he's really been their wide receiver one when you look at
he's been
targets.
That's why I said give up your number one pick next year and go get McMillan because he is the perfect fit for this offense. He's exactly what they need.
Yeah.
This is not it.
You go, but like he's fast, but I don't know what you guys saw in him. I don't see much else besides good speed in Matthew Golden. I don't see any other major.
I don't even see that
game. Yeah, but you don't even see that. You see
he got his production on broken plays.
Yeah, and then you look at him too. Like in December before college football playoffs, this guy was like a day 3 pick or like late day 2, and all of a sudden, because of a combine, because of a couple good playoff games, he's way up, locked in the first round.
That's what I'm saying. I comped him to Henry Ruggs. Like that's what I saw in his game.
Yes,
like that's what he was to me. The reason that Ruggs started to produce in Oakland, when Gruden drafted him, It was, he's my first round pick. This is the guy that I want to get involved. And they said, we're going to throw him the football. If the only way this works is if Matt LaFleur completely changes his philosophy and says, I'm going to actually target a wide receiver more than 5.5 times a game, excuse me. Because every single wide receiver on that team is 5 and 5.9 targets per game. None of them are actually dominating and taking over a game. And I don't see Matthew Golden being that type of, I'm going to take over and dominate a football game. That I just don't see it.
I think you spent a first round pick on a better MVS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
And Josh, your point about like dominating a game, like he had a couple solid games last year, but there were also so many, like nearly half his games.
But again, they're like, it's a couple big catches that translate to
bigs. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like it was a couple broken plays where he got 30, 40 yards, and everything else was like just within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. Like it wasn't anything really that you just feel like, oh, this guy took over this game.
Yeah. 100% agree, man. I just, no.
134 catches for 1,975 yards in his career.
He only had 900 yards this past year, right? And he didn't even hit 1,000.
Yeah.
Right? Wasn't he just under that in the regular season?
Yeah, it was just under. He had like 57 catches, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Don't like it.
Yeah.
You get a draft in your building and you just gross.
Just
I don't know.
It's a brutal dynasty spot too. Just brutal.
And that's the other side of it too. Is like
where the
people are going to look and be like, "Oh, it's a first round wide receiver, so we got to go up to get him." But
nope. What's he?
I would rather take Ibuka and wait a year or two for him to actually produce.
Yes.
You set the over under at 100 targets. I'm taking the under every fucking time.
Yeah. It's just, it kind of feels like a few wide receivers went and the Packers were like, well, we wanted a wide receiver. I guess this is the only guys left. Let's just grab him. Like, it just felt like everyone else.
I think the guys that they wanted went. Like, they probably wanted Barron. They probably wanted Michael. I know they wanted Michael Williams. They liked him a lot. I know they probably wanted Stewart. It's like the defensive guys, they weren't going to take Mike Green because they're not going to take a character guy like that.
Yep.
So I think the guys that they wanted just went ahead of them, and they didn't want to trade up.
His comp is Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, see, I've seen people comp him to Stephon Diggs, and I don't see that. Brandon Cooks, I see.
I don't see that at all.
No, definitely not Diggs.
But yeah, I see the Brandon Cooks comp. And Brandon Cooks has been a productive wide receiver. But has he really ever been like a wide receiver one that you're like, this is a game changer for me?
He started off
early in his career. Early in his career, he was a game changer.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say a game changer. He was productive, but he wasn't I'm going to take over this game and be the dominant guy.
No. And that's what they need. That's what they,
and don't get me wrong, there's very few of those guys in the NFL. I get that.
Go back to the Philly game and look at the pick that Love threw to Darius Slay when Wicks had a step on him and didn't make a play on the ball. That's what they need. They need someone who can go get that fucking ball.
And that's why you wanted him to come
not going to do that.
I said that's why you wanted him to come up and take catch. So
that's why I wanted Tat. Exactly. 100%. He is what they needed. This is not it.
Well, you got him. So
right.
Ooh,
great. We got Brandon Cooks.
Vikings pick is in.
No, they're not.
Minnesota Vikings pick. They're staying put. So far, we have had
incredible
trade.
The no trades. Yeah.
Just
one trade.
Yeah.
One bananas trade.
After all the crazy hype, there was
trade.
So much hype that was like there was tweets.
Oh yeah, like right before the draft, Adam Schefter tweeted out, expect like an explosive. Like...
Yeah, that's what he was tweeting. It was like, all right, buddy.
Like, bro, this is the worst fireworks show I've ever seen.
Somebody's going to trade up with Buffalo for 29.
So everyone
Adam Schefter.
30.
Adam Schefter once again tweeting nonsense. Oh my God, who would have thought? The Minnesota Vikings pick is in, and they've officially selected offensive lineman Donovan Jackson of Ohio State.
Don't mind that at all.
I say
player.
I did not research him. He did not come up in my first round. So
Chris Molina
He
joining
played
us
for
back
Simmons.
with
He moved over
tiny
to
puppy.
tackle when Simmons got hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
it's-
Donovan
he's
Jackson is
definitely-
in.
He was definitely in the first round conversation. And
he was one of those guys
that
could see falling if somebody like fell in love with maybe one of the corners or pushed up some others of these tackles. Like, I mean, we haven't seen the other two tackles, Simmons and Connerly, go yet. But we are seeing some of the interior guys like Zabel.
Yeah.
And
I'm surprised Jackson went over Simmons. That's
That's kind of where I stand.
Yeah, that is a shocking pick.
And again, I think it comes down to
I
the
think
medical.
we're see Houston get Simmons, most likely at least. Now that 25.
I mean, it's right there for them. I mean, unless they're looking at someone like Luther Burden,
which they definitely could be, but they already already have Christian Kirk
Or
too.
Jackson Dart.
The Giants
there's the trade.
are trading back into the first round.
Who? Oh,
The Giants.
New York Football Giants.
Oh wow!
And this is kind of what it.
Now we
was
get to
gonna
find
look like,
out.
right?
Now
Like,
we get the quarterback.
Is it
I'm like,
Shedder
hey,
they
or
wanted to
man.
jump in
Dart?
front of the Rams in case the Rams were targeting Dart or somebody
Yes.
else as the potential to.
Yeah,
If this,
you know,
man.
if this is Tyler Shug, we need to get Hoove on the show immediately.
Dude, no, it better not.
I
dude.
will
It better
leave.
not be.
I will leave.
I think we end the stream. I thank you all for watching.
I
The
will
Eagles fan in me
I
will
will
be so
retire.
happy. It is
I will retire to
so
my bed.
happy.
If
I'll
Tyler
be
Shug-
so happy. Oh man.
Do you like Shug?
No, no, he's not
Okay,
good.
good.
He would be
fans
happy
No,
would
to
be
get
that's why
happy.
we would be happy
We are
as
Eagles fans. Remember
Had
that.
no
Joe.
interest in
I'd
would go ahead of
I'd be
them.
ecstatic if the Giants in the first round select Tyler.
So here's the trade. Texans,
it.
they
Listen.
trade the 25th pick
Okay.
and get 34. So their first pick in the second.
Yep.
99, their third rounder this year,
Wow.
and a third rounder in 2026.
Not bad at
Nice.
all.
It's not that bad for the Giants to
Great.
trade up
Great.
and take a
Great for
quarterback.
Houston. I'd say it's actually not a bad trade for either team. So
No. Solid.
No. Houston,
All right, I missed it.
Houston doesn't need anybody in that
Jackson's
spot.
already ready. Let's go.
They can take somebody 9 picks later. The Giants obviously need a quarterback. It makes sense.
Well, I mean, I disagree. They need an offensive tackle.
Joel,
yes,
I
but you
missed
could
it.
probably take that offensive tackle in 9 picks.
Chris,
Who are we phasing out from Green Bay?
Say Chris in
we'll
here
go back
pouring
to
some
it.
salt and some wounds.
Oh yeah,
I
we've
hate the
already.
pick. I absolutely hate it.
I figured you would, but who are we phasing out? Who? Watson?
Dobbs is going away. They would have traded Dobbs if he didn't have the concussion issues. I'm 100%.
The only possession receiver on the team is getting traded out.
Yeah,
The
right.
only
I mean-
possession receiver.
His contract is up after this year. They're not resigning him.
Yeah.
No way.
Your
Double
co-host-
middle finger to Aaron Rodgers too.
Your co-host is adorable, Chris.
Thank you.
What's his or her name?
Her name is Sunny. She
Hi, Sunny.
is 11 weeks.
Wow.
Wow.
Sonny, welcome to the stream.
Yeah.
They're talking to you.
Giants are drained that clock. It's 3:30.
Did they still not know who they were picking?
Yeah, right.
Oh fuck! They
Hey.
took it. What are we gonna do?
They called Jackson Dart. He's like,
It was a
He's like,
misclick
nah.
trade offer. They misclicked it. They didn't mean to send that offer. They didn't mean to send that one.
It didn't ask me to confirm.
they Nico Harrison the trade.
Mara
Oh,
versus Dable,
man.
like rock paper scissors tournament going.
It's like the NFL
now
trade
that
where
I
you
can
accidentally
see
snapped on your
see
Mara
touchdown.
being
Pick
like,
it
"Hey,
in.
I want Shador," and then
Guys.
Dable being like, "No, I want so and so." Yeah,
Guys, the
I
pick
can
is in.
100% see that.
The pick is in.
It's a
That
running
it
back.
is.
The
And I'm
replacement
excited.
Saquon Barkley.
I'm excited about it.
The pick is in. Josh, I will
Yeah, I got it.
wait as you update it from Abdul
Huge.
Carter, as it was previously. And for those of you
So happy about this.
that said,
Say Hutch is feeling it right now.
I'm so happy
for
about
those
this.
of you
Yeah.
that said Shador Sanders
Ah,
would be not the second quarterback taken in the draft, the New York Giants have taken Jackson Dart, the
Wow.
quarterback out of Ole
Let's
Miss,
go.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, man.
which
Jackson
almost
So,
seals the fate of Shador Sanders not being a first round draft pick.
Yeah.
so
It-
New York will
What's the
see
Rams
2
taking?
Zach Wilsons.
Uh,
Well,
And look, I'm
at least this Zach Wilson has seen a black guy before age 21.
Yeah, that's
So
fair. Yes. He's not going to be terrified of black men.
Oh man.
Still my favorite draft moment in the history.
So good.
Woo.
Yeah,
Zach.
All right, Hutch, tell us why he's
Sanders
your
for a
QB2,
while.
man.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I know I'm celebrating over here. I don't love him. I think honestly, both Shedeur Sanders and Jackson Dart more deserve to be second round picks rather than first. But to me, when I watched Shedeur Sanders, what disappointed me greatly was one is that I know this is kind of it might be weird to hear at first, but his highlight reel really was incredibly disappointing. I feel like half the throws on his highlight reel were absolutely terrible throws that the wide receiver saved or where the wide receiver made an amazing play. And when you watch the film too, you see it. The wide receivers consistently had to reach way too far, come back to the ball, underthrown, overthrown passes. I just did not see Shedeur Sanders delivering the ball accurately enough consistently. His receivers were bailing him out with big plays. And Shedeur Sanders also thinks he's Superman. He runs backwards in the pocket. He turns around. He spins around, trying to make crazy plays and throwing off his back left foot.
I'll definitely concede to you.
Sometimes it works. Sometimes it works because his receiver makes a big play or he somehow just makes the good throw. But in the NFL, 99% of the time, it's going to end in either sacks or a lot of interceptions.
I love that.
It's incredibly concerning.
I love that we asked Hutch to defend Jackson Dart, and instead he just shit on Shedeur Sanders.
No, because it's not that I love Jackson Dart.
Exactly.
I really don't. He's fine. I think he's got plenty of potential. But
so can I ask?
really don't like Shedeur Sanders.
Can I ask? So Hutch, you were saying off-platform throws, holds on to the ball, wasn't just does all these things. Why the hell was Caleb Williams the 101 last year?
Yeah, he did the same.
Anybody want to explain that to me?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But he got away with it a lot more. Shedeur Sanders took a lot more sacks. Shedeur Sanders was often Shedeur Sanders running around in the pocket. He looked frantic. His footwork was off. Caleb was able to get away with it a lot more often when I was watching the two play football.
And we have another trade, folks. Let the fireworks begin.
Cleveland.
Chris, it's another year of no first-round picks for the Los Angeles Rams.
Falcons.
The Falcons have traded back into the first
coming
round.
up to get Shedeur Sanders.
You can never have too many quarterbacks.
This is Campbell. This is
this is probably Campbell. I would say.
Gotta be Campbell, right?
It could be Mike Green, and they go double edge.
That would make a lot of sense. Actually, they
literally have the worst front seven, and so it's got to be front seven.
I was gonna say Campbell solidifies that front seven, and
Campbell makes more sense.
So yeah.
Well, the New York Giants selection is about to be announced to the lovely city of Green Bay, Wisconsin.
I will say Dart is far more likely to scramble. He's going to have 300-400 yards running the ball. He's probably going to put in 4 or 5 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
That's always why I had him above Sanders in my rankings. But
I think the most important thing is, does this do anything positive or negatively for Malik Neighbors? And I think the answer is probably not. I think this
no, because Dart's not starting this year.
Timeout.
That's a great
timeout.
Didn't even think about
Is
that.
Jackson Dart from Utah?
No, Ole Miss.
No. The state of Utah, because his fam cam is in Ogden, Utah right now.
Oh no!
Oh shit!
I'm now fully believing that. Also, not one black person in sight at this draft party.
Oh no!
So, I think Joel might have hit the nail right in the fucking head.
Yep. it's Zach Wilson.
And this is what
Zach
I was
Wilson
talking about. This is what I was talking about.
Hold on,
Sean Mara wants somebody that can handle New York. Dable wants somebody that can handle his offense, and they're not.
Stop talking. His comp is Jalen Hurts.
What?
According to NFL Network, his comp is Jalen Hurts.
Because he can run.
What?
What are we doing? What do you mean?
That's the most ludicrous thing I've ever heard.
It literally gave his 2 bullet points.
I don't know. We just heard Stephon Diggs or Matthew Golden Stephon Diggs. So
it said Jalen Hurts.
No. Not even close.
No.
I mean, why not though? Hurts.
I don't see that
a
in
rushing
Jacksonville
QB. We're not talking about Hurts now, though. We're talking about Hurts coming out of OU. He had a lot of the a lot of similar traits.
Look at their college production. Jackson Dart was never close to being a Heisman Trophy winner. Jalen Hurts was.
But he didn't.
Jalen Hurts was always accurate in college, even at Alabama. Jackson Dart had like a 63% completion percentage, if that.
Yeah, I don't.
He wasn't hampered by lane
in a heavily schemed offense. I mean, like you watch his film. He never turns his head ever. He has one read, and that's it. That's why I confident Zach Wilson.
Well,
we've never seen any evidence that he can.
I stand corrected. Dart was 69.2 last year. Completion.
69. Nice.
That's what Hurts was in college. He was a one read QB.
Yeah, but he was doing that every year.
Hey guys, to be fair, who else is he looking at outside of Malik Neighbors?
Yeah, he only needs one read.
You only need one read.
He needs one read that's going to go for 250 targets.
I mean, that's really all he had at Ole Miss was Trey Harris.
Dart.
So
Yeah, that's true too.
But Joel, you made a great point. Dart, one of my biggest red flags on him, he sticks to his first read like glue. That dude is watching the first read.
Maybe his trade compensation. Holy crap.
Yep, trade details here for the Falcons and Rams.
Oh shoot, you'll see.
I'm ready.
The Falcons get obviously pick number 26 plus a third round pick this year.
Okay.
The Rams get the Falcons second round pick number 46, a 2025 seventh, and a 2026 first round pick.
Oh,
what? The Rams are going to have 2 firsts next year. What are they going to do?
Go.
They're going to trade both of them.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. The Rams have
honestly, really, they're setting themselves up for life after Stafford. Like it's the same thing that Cleveland's doing, right? Like they have a little bit more relief from the cap with the whole Watson deal. They can get their quarterback next year. The Rams can essentially do the same thing with Stafford, so they can use those 2 first-round picks if they need to do that to move up to get their quarterback. Because I highly doubt they suck so much that they're going to end up
instead of making a deal like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That's ridiculous.
The pick is in for the Atlanta Falcons.
There's nobody on this board that makes me think that a first round pick next year is
no.
Nobody would give up a first next year for. No way.
Sanders.
Oh, yeah. This is. I had the mocks taking this guy at 15, but get him now.
I hate when that happens.
Right player, wrong pick number, but. It's should I announce it or no? Should I let Josh put a thing?
We'll wait till we get it in here.
All right.
Updating the Jalen Walker.
I think actually I had their 15 pick correct, so I'll be interested.
So did I.
And
I had their 15 pick going to this guy.
And they have doubled down on.
No, they did not.
Yep.
The Falcons have selected James Pierce Jr.
Yeah.
Out of the University of Tennessee.
Double
Again, I like Pierce Jr. I do. He was a guy that I was looking at with the Eagles, but he's not worth giving up a first.
You gave up a 26 first for a wide 9 rush only guy who can't
move up 18 picks.
Yeah, the first is just so pricey. It is insane.
Yep.
And
but in fairness, I think didn't the Falcons only have like 5 picks this year?
Now
like it was them and Minnesota.
They were low. They were like
draft capitals.
They got 2 more.
Yeah, like I mean, they had to give up next year's picks.
Oh,
to
I
make
see
this
what you're
happen.
saying. Okay.
I mean,
Well, that's fair because didn't the Falcons also get the Rams third? So
one of them,
yes, they did. They got it back.
Yeah.
Can someone explain to me how you're 6'5", 300 pounds? You run a 4.47 and your athleticism score is an 80. Can someone explain that to me?
He's 300.
I don't think he's 300.
Okay, maybe I read that fucker on. Regardless, whatever.
I'm like, how is he 6'5", 300 and an edge? That's a deep.
Yeah, that's a big boy. That's it.
Might have read that quickly and correctly.
That's Jalen Carter.
Take the weight out of it. Take the weight out of it. You're 6'5", run a 4.47.
That's
how's your athleticism score 80? Can somebody figure that out for me?
I have no idea, honestly.
Yeah, because analytics. I
don't know all the
is
math
stupid.
that goes into that.
Yeah, Hutch, it's dumb fucking math. Okay.
It does sound like the math does not add up there.
The math in baseball made Rafael Devers' swing speed 4 miles per hour slower, and he started 0 for 18.
Yep.
The analytics is the dumb. Drive line's the dumbest fucking thing. Analytics has only hurt the production and value of sports. Fuck analytics.
Man,
like
the Ravens have a lot of options here.
Yeah. So the Baltimore Ravens are now on the clock. We are now entering here the final 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 picks of the first round. Texans and Rams have both traded out of the first round. We'll see what happens here with these final 6 picks. Is there anybody that is going to just fall into Baltimore's lap again here?
Starks.
said earlier, I mean, Malachi Starks,
Malachi
any one of
Starks.
the safeties, honestly. Eamon Worry as well, Campbell, linebacker. You've got edge rushers. You got tackles. I mean, Ronnie Stanley's had a lot of health issues. Like,
I had him taking that Donovan is zero.
He's
Oh,
Zero.
yeah. I had him there as well. I forget.
he's the one I want to fall to Philly now that Pierce is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The kid from BC.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had him going
Yeah.
to Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit's going to be another. And I think that's partly why the Eagles are trying to trade up. Like, they're trying to get ahead of Washington and Detroit for one of these edge rushers.
Yeah. They need
I wonder if Baltimore's willing to listen. So
Yeah, because there's only about 3:30 left on the clock, and they have not picked. So there might be some trade talks going on right
I
now.
feel like teams are just taking their sweet fucking time this year.
I know, but sometimes it means they're talking.
After going
trade.
rapid fire, for the
speculate
first
here.
10 or 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So be interesting to see what the Ravens do here. They have in previous drafts literally just had some of the best players in the draft just fall in their laps. That seems to be a
Hamilton.
consistent theme of the Baltimore Ravens. So,
But is there one of those guys on the board right now?
yeah, and that's the thing is like in previous years, it's been like, how did Kyle Hamilton fall to 14 or wherever they got him? I mean, it's been the same case with the Ravens and the Eagles that have just had people that literally like, how did they just fall to them without them having to do anything? So,
And I mean, and this could be a spot for Will Johnson.
they need a corner bad.
Yeah, I
Marlon
mean, and they
Humphreys
took Nate
sucks.
Wiggins last year. He's a speed guy. I mean, again, it's going to boil down to medicals with Will Johnson, but
Pick
Hey,
is in. Mhm.
guys, why did the Giants sign Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston and bring back Tommy DeVito?
literally have been
DeVito's
bitching
not
about
going to
this.
make it to camp.
Yeah,
I
DeVito's
know,
cut.
no, DeVito's cut, but like,
I've been bitching about
Russ
this
and
the whole
Jameis,
time.
Why?
No,
Makes
no,
no
re-
sense.
it makes no
Because you
sense.
don't know how the draft is going to play out. That's the
I-
biggest thing.
Stupid.
Personally, I will not be. I think Jameis is not a Giant when the season starts. I think he's traded.
That's a crime.
Well, my thing was, it was Dable and how do you pronounce his name? Shone.
Shown.
Shug. Oh,
Shug.
sorry.
Not
Shone. They're on the hot seat. They wanted a veteran to keep them having a job this year,
And they didn't know if they were getting Russ, so I think they paid Jameis. Then they did still manage to land Russ. Now you have Jackson Dart. It makes sense.
Yeah,
to move
why
back
did you
off
give
of
Jameis
so.
2 years?
Josh
I mean,
Pickett's in.
that
It's
doesn't
available.
make sense.
I'll give you
Yeah,
that.
I'll find it.
100%.
I mean, it's also the Giants, so
I mean, I know it's not a lot of money, but it's like, why? What's the point of giving Jameis
they have
2
zero
years?
direction.
Their direction is let's just go on the field and have
Who are
fun.
they going to hire to pair with Jackson Dart after both of them get fired this year?
If I'm Pittsburgh, I'm on the
Lane
phone with the
Kiffin?
Giants right now.
Well, the Baltimore Ravens have officially selected the safety, Malachi Starks. Out of Georgia.
Oh, man,
Great pick,
Philly.
man.
Philly.
That's an
Falling
excellent
right in their
pick.
fucking laps.
Yeah,
In
that was
2 years, we're going to look back and say, how did this guy fall to Baltimore?
Yeah, no,
Yep.
yeah,
Correct.
Oh, 100%.
and also
you're-
Todd Campbell.
He's another Brian Branch. He's another Brian Branch.
And now you've got Kyle Hamilton and Malachi, fucking Starks.
Hey,
That's
That's
hey.
a ridiculous safety room.
Well, good news is receivers are still going to have a fucking field day because they have to go against Marlon Humphrey and
Yep.
Yeah,
So-
as long as they don't get any hospital balls thrown
Yeah.
their way.
I was going to say anything over the middle of the field and the tight ends might struggle, but your wide receiver ones are going to be sitting oh so pretty.
Mhm.
The only issue is outside of Joe Burrow, there's nobody to throw to those wide receiver ones in that division right now. So,
Yeah, this is wild. These next 5 picks?
Yeah,
Yeah, these are
these
gonna be
be
fun.
interesting.
I'm really curious to see what happens because
I'm-
go
Oh, sorry, go on, Josh.
ahead. Touch. No, go ahead.
I was just saying, I'm shocked by the Jahad Campbell fall. Honestly, I thought he was going to go.
I'm
a
not.
lot higher.
Isn't he
I think
dealing
he's
with
got
an
an
injury
injury
too,
issue.
like a shoulder injury or something?
Shoulder, yeah.
Not to mention, it's
Say
not
he
a
may need-
premier position.
He may need surgery.
And that's the other side of it. Like the people that were hammering home Campbell. Like I get it, he's the best linebacker in this class, and I don't really think that's up for debate. But he's not really like a pass rushing linebacker. He's an off ball linebacker, and as good as those guys are, like they're not highly paid. First off, and they're just not a premium position. So that's why sometimes lesser value or lesser players get pushed up because they play a more premium position that is more valuable in a team's defense or offense.
And you can find guys later. Like the Packers got Edgerrin Cooper in the second round last year, and he's a fucking baller.
Well, I mean, look at the Eagles.
The Schlesinger kid this year.
Yep.
I mean, the Eagles linebackers in the
got Zach Bond for pennies before he absolutely blew up this past year.
Omar Speights from the Rams, one of the highest graded rookies, undrafted.
Malachi
linebackers get tossed aside all the time.
6'1", 200 pounds, 4'5", 40-yard dash, athleticism score of 67. So he's dog shit, actually. Horrible pick by the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, you really only need a 67 athleticism? My God. Be better. Second team AP All-American last year. Smooth, fluid, high safety, nickel, and leader. No comp, though, sadly. Rip. I'll see if Player Profiler has a comp for him, and I'll let you guys know. But we talked about that. What do we think Detroit's going to do here?
I think they're going edge.
I think
edge Boston College kid. I think that's where they go.
So you got the Boston College kid.
Would they take Mike Green and just force him into
They might try Mike Green too. They might try.
They
Mike
definitely
Green
seem like a team that'll take a red flag if they think they're getting the best player.
Yeah.
It's a shame. I wouldn't be surprised to see him look at Will Johnson in Michigan, but the injury I think is going to scare them off a bit there.
Yeah, injury push him back, especially with all the injuries they already had on.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That PTSD, bro. They don't mess with that. They're not going to mess with that again, man.
Temper expectations a little bit. Yeah, but I mean, just from talent perspective, like you pair Will Johnson with Terry and Arnold, like that's a dynamic corner duo, and we see it all the time. Like it's a copycat league. Philly dominated with looking corners and guys there. Like Detroit could be on that.
Pick is in for Detroit.
But personally, I don't think Will Johnson gets past Washington. Washington's another team that has dog shit for corners.
Well, they drafted that. Mike Sanderson played pretty well last year.
And they brought in.
They got.
I was gonna say if they can keep him in the nickel permanently, that's.
And they brought in Lattimore, but Lattimore did not look great.
No, he did.
Marshawn Lattimore is dog shit.
He looked washed.
So,
he's been dead for 3 years.
Yeah,
it's only good against Mike Evans.
Yeah, really. That's where he made all his money. Lions pick is in. Waiting for it to officially.
I can't see who.
Come across the board. Come across the stage. Malachi Starks did lead the not the Baltimore Ravens, the Georgia Bulldogs in tackles last year with 77. Second team All SEC. Listen, if you take a Georgia Bulldog, I'm gonna assume they're gonna be pretty good.
Yeah, and leading the Bulldogs in tackles is not anything small. So
no.
No.
Especially from the safety position.
Yeah, when they have a loaded front seven every single year.
Yeah, because that front seven is go get the quarterback.
Well, and like they just showed a highlight again. I don't know a ton about the kid, but they just showed a highlight. He lines up in the nickel quite a bit as well. So
that's what I'm saying. They use him a lot the way that Alabama used Brian Branch.
Yeah,
he can play a lot of spots. He can move.
Doesn't Hamilton line up nickel too?
No, they use Hamilton a lot in the box.
In the box. That's
when their pass defense turned around last year when they moved him to the nickel and got pushed, basically put Marlon Humphrey on the bench.
Marlon Humphrey sucks.
He does.
Saying that all fucking season. He's horrible. Washed. He was good. There was a time.
No, he was.
Not anymore.
No, it's not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. Waiting officially.
Wiggins develops for them. Their first rounder last year, or was he second round last year?
No, first round. Wasn't he from Clemson?
Clemson, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So bad is how he'll develop.
He's a $165. You can push him over.
Yeah, he's slim. Yeah.
He's Tank Dell at corner.
There is no junk in that trunk at all.
You tell me Nate Wiggins is going to cover DK Metcalf?
False.
Absolutely not.
Metcalf's just going to pick him up and take him down the field.
Fully. That's a carry.
He's got the speed to keep up with him. The problem is he has to play 2 or 3 yards off of him because he can't do anything like
he has to climb that tree when the ball gets there.
That's DK's carry-on luggage.
Yeah.
The away game.
Oh my god.
Absolutely. Oh my god.
He's going to cover Chamar Chase or T. Higgins?
No.
Can't fucking cover Cedric Tillman. Like, just not gonna happen. Just simply not gonna happen. Still waiting officially on this Detroit Lions pick here.
Oh, it's in. Wait, no, it's not. Never mind.
Yeah.
I got it.
Pick is in. We're just officially
you got
waiting on
Who it
the
is?
name.
Yeah.
And after tonight's trades, the Rams and the Browns now own double first in the 2026 NFL draft.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because Josh brought this up immediately. Those are the teams that are essentially planning for 2027 at this point. So,
yeah,
while competing, the Rams are still competing. Right?
Yeah, let's be clear. Yeah, the Rams are still competing. The Browns, I think,
no, but they're setting themselves up the right way for life after Stafford, the way that the Steelers didn't set themselves up for life after.
And
Big
it's
Ben.
such a good point because, and it's so hilarious that we're talking about the Rams like this now because for years they just kept mortgaging the future to make sure they were constantly in the running, and they bought that Super Bowl with draft picks, and nobody was mad at that. But now they're like, well, guess what, bitch? We're literally just going to start reloading at this point. So.
Yeah.
And it feels like, they moved off of Cooper Kupp at probably the right time. Like the Rams are making good decisions right now. So.
The Rams are setting up.
The Lions.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Nope, you're good. The Lions have decided to go south of the border to the lovely state of Ohio and draft defensive tackle Tyleik Williams out of Ohio State.
Interesting.
Solid pick.
Way more D tackles than I thought was going to go.
Yeah, a lot.
It's a deep defensive tackle class.
It is a deep draft, but still a lot.
Well, here's the issue with Tyleik Williams is he struggles to finish. Now, I've never had that problem, but I do understand that that impotence is a thing that is striking men nowadays, becoming more and more prevalent. So, and with an athleticism score of only 77, I see how it can be hard to finish.
On that note, I need to go put my daughter to bed. So I'll catch you guys later.
Chris, thanks so much, buddy. Have a great night.
You too.
Sorry, I forgot there was a child on the stream. My goodness.
That poor puppy.
Yeah, that poor dog. Jeez.
Williams it's interesting for them because he's an elite run defender, but they're really good against the run anyway.
Like Joel, he struggles to finish.
I mean, that doesn't feel like the right pick to me.
No, it really does. I mean, I feel like this is a situation where they had Williams high on their board. He was the best player available, and they weren't really drafting for need. They were just taking the BPA.
Yeah, because the roster, it definitely isn't perfect, but they got a pretty solid roster. I mean,
considering they were on their fifth stringer at every single position on defense,
they're still able to win some games.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's wild. And now we're looking at
the Commanders.
29. Dude, Travion Henderson, man. I want it here, man.
What's funny is I hadn't even considered that until you guys started bringing it up, and now I'm
kind of corner.
No, I want it. I want it so bad. It would be beautiful, man.
The next two teams really need a corner.
Oh no!
Yeah, Buffalo really needs a corner.
It would be the smartest pick, but I want
Buffalo is so desperate they brought back a washed-up Trey White.
Yeah, no, it's bad for Buffalo right now.
They re-signed him.
Did he re-sign him? Yeah, did you not see that?
Yeah,
they brought him back
like a week ago.
Sorry,
yeah, that was a few days ago.
Man. I refuse to have shit come across my Facebook and Twitter.
No, I mean it's way after free agency. It's way after free agency.
I don't know. I have it's God, he's horrible. That is a hey, we're gonna throw you a bone to retire a Buffalo Bill for a season. My God.
Yeah, it's definitely that. Honestly, I would be shocked, depending on how this draft goes, that he actually makes it out of training camp.
Yeah.
But this also isn't the deepest cornerback class either, so it's got some guys, but I think after first, second round, it's hit or miss.
I like the Rebel kid a lot. I think he's really good.
Amos too.
Amos is really good too. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Those are second round guys to me, and Hairston as well, depending on all the shit that's going on with him. But
see, I had Amos going to Detroit, so.
Yeah.
So
I mean, and there was definitely some buzz that Amos might sneak into the first round. So
yeah, he was there, and especially with all the needs in the back half of the first round at corner, like we've been talking about, there's definitely a chance Amos goes. And there's been handful of corners going in the first round. Then you have Will Johnson with his injury. Amos could definitely sneak in now.
The pick is in for the Washington Commanders. So while we wait officially on this pick, Well, we wait officially on this pick. This is begging the question that unless someone is looking to trade back into the first round here for Shedeur Sanders, which I don't anticipate happening.
See, I think someone should though. It's just
if you want the 5th-year option, I agree. I think you give up your second and a 4th in a late round pick next year, something like that, to trade up to get the 5th-year option. I agree with that, but I don't think that's going to happen. So where does Shedeur Sanders get drafted?
I don't know what the second round even looks like. Right
Cleveland.
Yeah, I think it's
Cleveland's
probably
right there. Dude, it's crazy. They could have had
Cleveland's
Travis
at
Hunter
33.
too. They could have had Travis Hunter too, and they traded down.
I know, but honestly, I've been saying this. I think Cleveland is the perfect spot for Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah,
I think he fits what Kevin Stefanski wants to do so well.
Is it feeling like remember a while ago Geno Smith's draft? A lot of people were saying he was going to be a mid first round guy, and he ended up falling all the way to the back end of the second round to the New York Jets. Again, West Virginia, smaller Big 12 school, not the prowess that these big Power 5 teams have. You could argue Colorado is pretty much in that same tone. Colorado was not a world beater, neither was West Virginia, but they would win games because of especially West Virginia would win games because of their quarterback, but they would also lose games because of their quarterback. So is this kind of shaping up to maybe be something like that?
I don't think he'd fall far. So we got Cleveland has 2 picks, so it seems almost impossible he doesn't go to 33 or 36. If he doesn't, you bring the teams that we all mocked him to at some point. I said at one point I thought the Raiders might be interested. You have the Raiders. You have the Saints at 8. You have the Jets at 10. Why not? And then the Rams at 14. I feel like 46 is about as far as he could possibly fall.
Yeah. And the more he falls through those picks, the way more concerning it gets for his outlook.
Oh, I'm already concerned.
It's already really bad, dude. Not a first round pick after all the anticipation is.
The Commanders pick is in, and I want to throw out a fun Shedeur Sanders thing. Commanders pick is in. It's going to be offensive tackle Josh Connerly Jr. out of Oregon.
Wow.
He's likely going to slot into right tackle with them acquiring Laramie Tunsil. Yep. Tunsil's on the last legs of his career anyway. Maybe it becomes a situation.
I wonder what's going on with Simmons, though.
Yeah, no, this is weird.
It's the injury.
Interesting. But yeah,
it's got to be.
Might be that injury.
Same thing with Will Johnson.
I mean, he could fall right to KC and just be a dream pick for them.
Could. Or
with what they've lost.
Mm-hmm.
Dude,
so a potential fun scenario. I don't think this happens because there are a bunch of teams ahead of this team that could easily take Shedeur Sanders. Brock Purdy's in the last year of his rookie deal.
So I was gonna bring that up.
That's
Joe.
Interesting.
I was gonna bring that up.
Yeah, that's
49ers have a lot of picks.
I think they're working on a deal with.
They also have. I was actually going to bring up the 2 teams with ties to Dion, which is Dallas and San Francisco. Why not? Dallas obviously just went out and got Joe Milton. So
Raiders too. So. Let's not forget that. I know they signed Geno to a 3-year deal, but Shedeur has.
I said the Raiders.
2 years.
Brady.
Yeah. That was a 2-year deal, right? It was only 2 years.
3.
2-year extension. He has 1 year this year, so 3 years.
Go,
but no. I said at one point I mocked Shedeur to the Raiders, and me and G were talking about that on the show last night. So
sorry, sneezed.
Fine. But no, I think I don't think there's a chance he gets past the Browns 2 picks. So I think the whole point is moot. But I think the Raiders and I think the Saints are interesting. So
sure. If he somehow ends up past that. It is San Francisco and Dallas back-to-back
picks. Yeah, I saw that too, Joe.
So that is interesting to think, like, do they not want to pay Brock Purdy?
Wait a second. Is this dude like a converted tight end? Why is he like running the ball and catching the ball?
Josh Connerly, I was not watching his highlights.
Yeah, none of them from Oregon, but I don't know where he was ahead of time, but they were showing like offensive skill position highlights.
I mean, there's a chance he went from tight end to O-line.
It also might have been blocking highlights.
No. They were showing him like he caught a touchdown, and the one before that was him like running the football.
Oh,
Probably a tackle eligible kind of thing.
Athleticism score of 84.
There you go.
Dog.
Better than Travis Hunter.
Way better.
By 6 points.
I mean, from what I understand, he may play multiple positions.
These things are like logarithmic, right? They have to be.
You would have been a top 10 pick if that were the case, right?
Oh my God. I fucking despise this athleticism score. 3 picks left here in the first round. Buffalo, and then your 2 Super Bowl contenders, Kansas City and Philadelphia. Be interesting again to see if a team does want to jump Cleveland at 33. Is it Vegas that trades back in? Is it the Saints that trade back in?
Also, it feels like to Buffalo right now, it feels like the James Cook stuff has really tempered down. It feels like that's not as much in the cards anymore. So it'll be that's an interesting thing too. Because if they were going to trade James Cook, I feel like a running back here might be potentially there.
Bill's draft room seems to be hugging each other right now. The pick is in.
Looks like pick is in, yeah.
Pick is officially in. Be good, do good. God bless, and go Bills, says somebody's sign out there in the beautiful city of Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Josh.
I say beautiful. I've been once. Didn't really see much of it outside of the stadium, but it was lovely. Enjoyed it. Great time. Flew into Chicago, drove 5 hours through the beautiful Wisconsin countryside. Saw a bunch of cows, not much else.
Why the hell did you find a Chicago? Oh, wait, you went to Green Bay. Never mind. I'm
Green
sorry.
Bay.
I was thinking Buffalo because they're picking. I'm like, wait, you flew into Chicago?
No. Flew into Chicago. My uncle's from Aurora. We took a rental car from Chicago to Green Bay, Wisconsin to watch the Patriots take on the Packers at Lambeau Field. That was a very fun game.
Infinitely more sense than flying into Chicago to go to Buffalo.
Correct. You would fly into Buffalo because they have a major airport. Whereas Green Bay,
I was confused myself.
Green Bay back 11 years
2014?
ago. 2014. Yep. It was a great game. That was
a great game. Yeah.
Rodgers, Nelson,
Devontae.
Yep. Rodgers and Brady. That was Brady, Gronk. That game was awesome.
That game was back and forth. Yeah, that was really good. I remember that game.
24-21. I think Green Bay won. But me and my dad sat in the end zone next to a lovely Green Bay Packers fan who brought my dad a Coors Banquet beer, and my dad started drinking it. And I said, "You don't drink beer." He's like, "Yeah, but it would be rude if I didn't drink a beer that the guy just brought me." And that's when I learned etiquette, folks. That's when I learned etiquette. So,
Josh, do you have this Bills pick yet?
I haven't seen it come up.
I haven't seen it either.
Well, they're coming up to the podium.
It's the first one they got right, where they hit it from everybody.
Jesus,
this is interesting.
Do you think there's a chance they go wide receiver here?
It's certainly
they need a receiver, but they need a cornerback way more.
But they need other positions a lot more.
Oh, Eagles traded up one spot.
Oh, here we go.
Why?
And
with the chefs?
Yeah, they traded up with the Chiefs. So, all right,
who were they?
Bills pick.
Yeah, waiting for this Bills pick here. Who were they trying to jump?
Yeah, that's strange.
Yeah, what would they want that KC would want?
Yeah,
I would.
Or what did they want that they want to try and block?
They want to make sure no one else got.
I was gonna say, like, who do they think?
I mean, the Eagles are giving up one of their 5th round picks to move up one spot, so it's not anything.
Yeah, I mean, I figured it's not a big.
Seems like collusion to me.
Collusion.
All right. Well,
everybody's talking about Eagles trading up. All right, cool. Where's the freaking Bills?
Where's the Bills pick? Yeah.
Number 32, number 164 for number 31. I'll take it.
Cool. So yeah, the Make-A-Wish kid is about to announce it, and we have yet to see it yet.
This is the only one they got right.
So, the pick is a cornerback, and it is Maxwell Hairston out of Kentucky.
Yeah. Hey.
There we go.
Yeah, this one actually, one of the insiders did not tweet it. It was the actual NFL.
Oh my goodness!
Oh wow!
I wonder if they're saving, making sure they don't give out the Make-A-Wish picks.
Oh, that could be it.
That could be. Yeah.
It only took them
not
30
Make-A-Wish picks.
To be fair, if you're Buffalo, you do at this point in time see Tyreek Hill twice a year. You might want to get a speedster to keep up with him, and that's what you got in Maxwell Hairston. So they have him. to cover on the outside. I mean, you can lock down anybody on the New England Patriots roster, so that's pretty easy. But then you gotta see Garrett Wilson twice a year. So this gives you something that hopefully you can develop and turn into a good player.
Yeah, there's so much that the Eagles could do here. They could get one of the edge rushers. They could steal Will Johnson. They could take Josh Simmons.
They can get a receiver.
Will Johnson.
What am I missing? I say, what am I missing about why the Eagles want to go corner again in this draft?
They did lose
Slay replacement.
Right now, they're slotted to start former 4th-round pick Kaylee Ringo, and they also have former UDFA Eli Ricks on the roster.
Ringo.
They lost Isaiah Rodgers. Like they still need depth there. Like yes, you have Cooper Jean. Yes, you have Quinyon Mitchell, but they don't. You know, it's.
I guess I didn't realize how depleted it was behind, because I kept seeing it and I refused to mock it because it just didn't make sense to me. But I guess
Kaylee Ringo?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it makes sense though. Like, I mean, Eli Ricks was a former like #1 overall high school recruit. Like, he's got talent. He slipped because of character concerns.
But I mean, you just lost 2 guys off your D line, and they love a rotation. So
exactly, and that's why I think it's probably going to be one of these edge rushers. But I also would not be surprised if Josh Simmons is the pick.
Yeah, I would. That's the only guy that makes sense.
You plan for life after Lane Johnson. Like, this is right up their alley. Like, this is what they did when they drafted Andre Dillard. They were trying to prepare for life after Jason Peters. Like, Dillard didn't work out, but they hit on Mailata. So, it's like they prepare for the future. Like, they don't have any dire
guy
needs.
That
like, yes, they have areas to restock the cupboard. But if you can find like that best player available at a deep position for them, like, they'll do it. So
let's go, Philly.
I also wonder if it could be Will Johnson, just because Kansas City could have also taken Will Johnson.
This is really surprising.
This is wow.
Throw it in, Josh. Let's see. Running back. No.
Dude, I love how hold on. That's hilarious. Dude, the picture, so reporter Ari Moreau, I think that's his name. Ari Moreau.
Yeah. Wrong picture.
He posted the wrong picture. Wrong picture. Not the same player.
Well, the Philadelphia Eagles have traded up 1 spot to take Jihad Campbell Alabama.
I like
that.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. It's a best player available situation.
Yeah.
This is the first time, I believe, since the 70s that they've taken a linebacker in the first round?
I think at this
point,
point,
you saw how much difference Zach Bond made for them.
Yeah. Well, and then you have to figure Nakobe Dean, great last year, hurt
patellar tendon injury.
Yep. Like you got Jeremiah Trotter Jr. last year. Great. I love that. He definitely was more of a special teams guy, but he's a developmental guy. But like, linebacker is a big piece of Vic Fangio's defense. And you need to be able to, not feel like you need to play 100% of Zach Bond. Like, if you get another guy in that rotation, like, I'm all about it. And I think they can use Campbell in a lot of different ways.
He's also the best player on the board.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Eagles are becoming SEC North at this point. That's what they are.
Yeah. Nothing even bad about that. It's just
no.
I'm just really surprised they moved up the 1 spot. Like, did they really think that somebody else was trying to?
Yeah, it's strange. What were they hearing that made them think that?
Yeah, I'm looking at these teams here in the beginning of the 2nd round. I mean, was Cleveland going to trade up for it?
No.
Did
it could be like our roster is so deep that a 5th round pick is never going to make the roster. So I don't know.
And that's really what it is. I mean, they needed to make trades because I was talking with Kira about this, that, they've got 8 draft picks. They're probably going to come out with 5.
You don't have 8 roster spots. Yeah.
We don't have 8 roster spots. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. No.
Again, collusion. It doesn't make any sense.
Collusion.
We can't use
this. And this is a situation where if the medicals check out for Simmons, KC can still get a starting tackle.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Joel said that immediately, that if this played out where he just falls into KC's lap. So
just give me Travion Henderson.
I was going to say please.
Please. I like Isaiah Pacheco. I'd feel bad for him, but please.
Are they too gun shy after CEH to take?
I was gonna say,
Dude, I know it's 32 running back. That would be.
I have CEH PTSD.
They're gonna CEH whatever running back.
Well,
they think.
TreVeyon Henderson's actually good. You don't have to worry about it.
That was the argument that was made yesterday as well.
Yeah, dude, that'd be crazy. Casey repeating at 32 with a running back after the CEH pick. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. At least it wouldn't be the first running back off the board like it was. And
exactly. There were a lot of different circumstances, and we
taking him ahead of Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a regional place for Henderson to go.
God.
It was like CEH was a bit of a shocker.
Think about what Kansas City is if they just draft Jonathan
Taylor.
Dude, I mean, oh my God, dude. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, man.
It's interesting to call that. That's a franchise-altering mistake for a team that has won multiple Super Bowls.
That has won multiple Super Bowls.
They only won 3 Super Bowls instead of 5.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It's ludicrous, dude.
Wild.
Unbelievable. Still waiting on the official announcement of the Philadelphia Eagles selection here.
Yep.
On the draft stage.
Yeah.
According to Jeremiah, the top best available after Jahad Campbell off the board. Umanwori from South Carolina. Shador Sanders up there as well as Will Johnson. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, Casey could go either of those directions. They just lost Justin Reed, right? He signed with New Orleans.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they need a safety.
Correct. They could go safety.
Did they really?
Yeah.
They did.
Damn.
Yeah.
They lost Reed.
Damn. Eagles first and second round pick since 2022. Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Jordan Davis, Cam Jurgens.
Not a single miss.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
3 right
It's
from
just
Georgia.
inexcusable that the league let them have Jalen Carter at 9.
That was
ridiculous.
crazy.
It's
Character
absurd.
kind of
concerns,
hilarious.
man.
I mean, and that was another one where they traded up one spot.
Character concerns.
That was probably collusion too.
Aren't
No,
you
that was just
like
the
an
Bears
Eagles
being
fan,
stupid.
kind of?
Sure.
Sure. All right.
I'm
happy
waiting officially
I'm
on
happy
this
when the
Chiefs
Eagles
selection.
do well. I'm happy when the Chiefs do well. But I wouldn't.
Well,
That's
so were you happy
collusion
and
right
sad at
there.
the Super Bowl?
That's collusion right there.
That's waffling and non-commitment.
Yeah.
So Ryan, were you happy or sad in the last Super Bowl?
I was happy. It was a great game for the Eagles.
I was like, it wasn't a great game. It was just the Eagles.
I was
pummeling them.
ecstatic.
I guess it was
fun.
it was an entertaining beatdown. So.
Yes. Yeah. Like, it wasn't a good contact, but it was fun to watch.
I guess it was heartbreaking. Seeing Andy Reid get out coached was like seeing your dad get beat up. So that was a little weird.
Yeah.
He got massively out.
Yeah, it's not something I would have expected to see happen.
Outplayed at every level, man.
Oh, certainly outplayed. Outplayed. I'll live with. Kansas City, some flaws were massively exposed, and they were kind of exposed this whole season, but they were massively exposed in the Super Bowl. But
the dark magic was over.
Andy Reid getting out coached just was not on my bingo card. Like Andy Reid looked out of his depth for the first time since the Super Bowl loss. So the Eagles Super Bowl loss. So
man. I'm not gonna lie. I worry a little with Campbell fitting into that locker room, man. Alabama, Georgia, they just don't get along.
They're gonna hate each other.
I was gonna say, is he gonna be a one-man rumble against the Bulldog?
He has to fight all of them.
I mean, to be fair, Devonta Smith and Jalen Hurts.
Oh
yeah, but they're on the offensive side of the ball.
Okay.
Yeah, and they don't talk to each other ever.
Yeah.
Defense doesn't look. Campbell is not Travis Hunter. He's not going back and forth.
Chiefs are on the clock.
I mean, he has a higher athleticism.
7 minutes left.
He does. Athleticism score of 80. Yeah. Waiting on Kansas City's pick here.
7 minutes left. Oh, pick is in. That was fast.
I was gonna say, I don't even have the clock up anymore, so I think it might be.
That was fast. Yeah, that was really quick.
I was going to say, Ari tweeted out Shedeur Sanders will officially not go in the first round, and then doesn't tell me who KC's picking. Like, okay, like,
hey,
KC's not going to pick Shedeur Sanders.
You don't know that.
The way that Patrick Mahomes has looked the last couple of years.
They might want to.
They're not picking a quarterback.
Let's remember, he did not win the Super Bowl this year, okay? He's clearly
you need a succession plan.
He's blind.
You need a succession plan.
They're going quarterback platoon, guys. All right.
Oh my God.
They're gonna do that old lineup where they put them both in the backfield. You don't know
Yeah.
who's throwing the
Yeah.
ball.
You don't know who's getting the ball.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Shedeur will be Drew Brees, and Patrick Mahomes will be Taysom Hill.
Boom.
Mahomes is built for it. He's built like a fucking Oompa Loompa.
He's got the dad bod.
Got that dad bod going.
Dad bod and walks like he has a ruler stuck up his backside. There's a couple people in life I've seen that walk like they have a phallic member stuck up their asshole, and he's one of them. He just walks funny. There's nothing wrong with it. He just walks funny.
I like how his voice has gotten significantly less Kermit the Froggy since he's been in the league.
Pick is in for KC.
I think like when you sit there with Brittany all day, I think you just learn to be less annoying.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe he spent so much time away from Brittany due to like everything. So
off the rails.
What the fuck you want me to talk about right now, Ryan?
Hopefully.
We got the Chiefs pick is in. It's available.
Yeah, but like what's more important is like us talking about Patrick Mahomes.
Shit talking Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
But the pick is in. And as we had predicted a little bit, Josh Simmons.
Baby. Here we go.
Ohio State.
Trayvon Henderson's
they needed offensive line. The way that the Eagles off defensive line just absolutely dominated them. Like, if offensive line was not going to be their focus this draft, Brent Veach needs to be fired.
Well,
fired is extensive, but definitely
that's somebody saying, I don't care how much I'm paying my most expensive piece, protecting him is stupid. Like, that's dumb. That's not an attitude that you have.
That's a Joe take right there. And while I respect that, I fear that one might be a little far.
I mean, they also lost Tooney, who was playing for an injured left tackle.
No, they didn't lose. They traded. They gave up Joe Tooney.
Gave away, yeah.
Which is crazy because Tooney's a dog.
Yeah, I was surprised by that move.
That was crazy. It was
I mean, he obviously was overmatched last year playing out of position in the Super Bowl. Like, he's not a left tackle.
Still a good guard.
He's a great guard.
Unbelievable guard. Joe Tooney's a fucking menace. Love Joe Tooney. If only Bill Belichick paid his players. Psych. If only Robert Kraft paid his players. Fucking ownership.
I mean, of the players that didn't go in the first round, I mean, to me, the only one I'm truly shocked by is Mike Green.
Character.
And I'd say the only one I'm shocked by is Sanders. I'm shocked
by that as well. That was
the way the NFL is a quarterback league. Green, the character issues. You guys kind of answered a lot of the things that were going on for some of these players with the injuries and the character. I like Luther Burden, but he always kind of felt like a second round pick. So
Tennessee should be lining up to get him in the second round.
Oh, that should be a lock. If they don't pick him, that would be
I'd still take Higgins over him.
Really?
Ooh, that.
I don't know. Higgins worries.
I said it was.
Well, you just
Burton's got the downside of Wan'Dale Robinson. He's just everything is so tight to the line of scrimmage.
And that's fair.
That was
I think that was more the
not
offense.
2023.
That's not Luther Burden. I think that was more the offense. That's not Luther Burden's ability. Luther Burden's ability downfield is excellent.
I was gonna say the plays I saw him make downfield had me impressed with him.
So. Oh no, he can make plays downfield. The offense and the quarterback last year.
He can. I'm not saying he can't. I'm just saying he doesn't.
I don't know. Burden will be interesting in the second round. Obviously, Shedeur Sanders, and if Shedeur Sanders isn't a Cleveland Brown,
that one's bad.
If he's not a Cleveland Brown, I will be absolutely shocked. And if the Browns walk out of this, obviously not everybody walked into this wanting Mason Graham, but if you walk out of this with Mason Graham, Shadur Sanders, an extra second round pick and a first round next year, that's a
pretty
fucking
solid
win for the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah, because I mean, Sanders, even going in the second round, all you have to beat out is a 40-year-old Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett. Like, yeah.
And they can get like Travion Henderson too.
I was just gonna say Travion Henderson or Quinshon Judkins, maybe Luther Burden if he go, like, you can fill some holes with these picks. So
keep one of those guys in state. Yeah, you can. This is they're making up for the Deshaun trade in this draft.
And then it's just figuring out what you're going to do with him. I find it so interesting. So obviously they didn't have the out to get out of that contract like we thought they might.
No.
But like literally the GM just came out, or the owner, I don't remember which one it was, like, so you swing and you miss sometimes with Deshaun Watson. And it's like, bro, he is still on your roster. You can't be saying
shit like the first time I've ever seen that happen. Like I can't remember a time where a GM like that came out and said, yeah, that was a bad signing when he was still on the team. And then I saw a video like days after that was like Deshaun Watson on social media, like saying, I'm hungry this year. I'm coming back with a vengeance. And it's like,
I'm glad you're hungry, dude.
We're
fucking starving.
Can Watson even play this year?
No.
Like, I didn't think so. He tore that. He re-tore
No,
he
re-hurt. I don't think he'll play this year. I think he's out. Yeah.
He's hungry though.
Go get a burger, bro, because you ain't playing
football. Go get some Waffle House, dude. They're open 24 hours. I don't know what to tell you. God. All right, folks. That's all she wrote in the 2025 NFL draft. Kind of boring. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is a dud of a draft for fantasy. At least a dud of a first round.
Dud of a first round for fantasy.
Yeah, I mean, Dart's not going to start at minimum till probably 2026 unless these guys get hurt.
You got Ibuka.
Terrible landing spot for Matthew Golden.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ibuka
Golden Ibuka, not great landing spot.
Yeah, for redraft, it's a terrible landing spot for Ibuka. But
for best ball, this is a mess. This is really bad.
Great for Baker Mayfield, folks. The one takeaway from today's draft: get Baker fucking Mayfield.
Good for Baker Mayfield.
Yeah. Ashton Genty went to the Raiders. That was, good to see that. That'll be a great spot for him.
You love what you got from Genty.
He'll get every touch. That's great. Colson Loveland going 10 to the Bears, man.
Loveland's a strange one. Obviously, we had the mixed feelings on Tyler Warren, but like I was down on the Amari and Hampton immediately, but you guys talked me back up on it. So like I feel like Hampton's going to be an interesting one. So
Hampton of the Chargers is good.
Yeah.
Without Travion getting first round draft capital, I think he slots right back into the RB2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. If
it's close.
Go around. It'll be close. Landing spot will definitely have a factor in it. But
I said if Henderson's a Brown, I'm still gonna take Henderson. So,
man, that would be close for me.
Cleveland has 33 and 36.
Yep. And if those are Shadur and Henderson, I'm not mad at it.
Even if it's Shadur and Judkins, I
100%.
I was gonna say Shadur and Judkins.
Now Judkins to Cleveland does not. Judkins to Cleveland will not move him ahead of Hampton for me, so I'll keep Hampton.
No.
So,
no.
But if somebody takes Henderson in between, I could still see them going.
100%. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. I think it's gonna be. I think we're gonna
the top of the draft tomorrow is gonna be really interesting.
That's what I was just gonna say, Joel. Is the top of tomorrow's draft is gonna be interesting, and we not for a draft show, but we will be live for my mock draft show tomorrow, which will take place after that top of the draft. So that'll be fun. So.
Yeah,
and there's just not a lot of like linemen that are right there for Cleveland, unless they wanted Ursary from Minnesota for a tackle, or Jared Wilson is at center. All right. And they need linemen, so
get us out of here, Joel.
I feel like you just have to take the value in the quarterback and a position player. So
beautiful. Well, Hutch, Joel, thank you both for joining for this draft show. Ryan, Josh.
Always a blast.
Yeah, 8th annual. Enjoyed it. For myself, Josh, Ryan, Hutch, Joel, and Chris, who joined us as well. You can follow Club Fantasy on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Club Fantasy FFL. The URL, clubfantasyffl.com. Always remember, defense wins championships, offense wins fantasy football. This is a year-round show, folks. We will see you next week.